Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to episode 113 of the Snarp Fangle podcast. I'm your host, Jake Metzger, someone who can't wait to play all those PS5 games on PS6. And my co-host this week, the host of the Theo Bros podcast. He's an Ackman fan and can't wait to watch, and he cannot wait to watch Ackman's reactions to Minecraft Dungeons 2. Ladies and gentlemen, David Reed.
Yo.
How you doing, David?
Not too bad. I was about to...
No, don't say
I
that.
wanted to
Don't
say it.
the It's Always Sunny in clip.
I wanted to say it, but I stopped myself.
Well, we have seen the booty. So you know what? I understand where you're coming from, David. Oh, that's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is something I would like to take a gander at. I've seen various clips throughout the years.
Yeah, I've watched some of it. Mostly unintentionally. Mostly just like been on the TV when like I got home from wherever I was and somebody was already watching it. You know, and I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll watch it too. I never purposefully sat down to watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So, but it's a funny show.
Dude, yeah.
It was just like, I guess I never just had the inclination to actually watch it on purpose.
It's so crazy. It's been going on for like 20 plus seasons.
Is it still going?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think they just did one last year. Let me look that up real quick.
That's insane.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia season. 17 seasons. And their most recent season was last year in the summer.
Oh, okay.
So 2025.
Still, that's a lot.
That's a lot of seasons.
And I mean, like,
178 episodes too.
All these shows that like go on forever just like boggle my mind. It's like, how do they even do it?
Yeah.
Because after a certain point, it just seems like, you know, people get tired of it. Like, is there really a person who's like, say The Simpsons, for example, because it's the longest running sitcom, I think, ever at this point.
Yeah, 30 plus seasons, I think. 40 at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's any show that's been as long running as The Simpsons, or sitcom at least. And it's like
37 seasons. Dang.
Somebody who's watched it from the very beginning, like, they would have had to have fallen off the train at some point. Like, I could not see being so invested in a show that you would want to keep watching it for that long.
It's so funny because I was just listening to something this week where they were talking about the ending of Seinfeld and how it ended at 9 seasons, which was very intentional from Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. But now they look back on it, and Jerry Seinfeld has talked about how he regrets just the final episode, how they all just go into jail, apparently. And so I think there's Always Sunny, no, not Always Sunny, Curb Your Enthusiasm episode where it's Michael Richards, Louis Dreyfus, and Jerry is sitting in that diner just talking about like the past or something. And it's literally just a section of a Seinfeld episode, but modern day. Then they're talking about, how long were we in jail or something like that. So, you know what? That's
another show I've never watched is Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in it, but I have seen some clips and they're pretty funny. You know what I also have seen clips of, David, that I would have never wanted or ever have any interest in remotely even watching. But because of the gifts of the internet that keeps on giving, the show New Girl has me somewhat interested in taking a look at it.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, man, it's got that Zooey Deschanel as the main character, and she lives in an apartment with like 3 dudes, but they like aren't in relationships or whatever.
Is this
it's like a comedy.
Is this a recent show?
Probably no, like last 10 years probably. Maybe 15 years at this point. It came out a while ago.
Okay,
it was
maybe
like on daytime TV, basically.
Okay, maybe I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
you
I've
would
never
probably
watched it.
if you were gonna sit down and watch something like, not you, David, most assuredly, The Big Bang Theory. You would never sit down and watch that. But if you were, New Girl would probably be on right after it, basically.
Yeah, well, I've actually watched quite a bit of The Big Bang Theory. Not
Do you regret it?
I mean, I don't know. It was what it was. I was like, it was like before I moved here, I was,
Mm.
I was,
You were exposed to cable
I
or
was,
satellite
yeah,
television.
renting a room from my aunt and uncle, and so it's just whatever was on the TV in the living room is what I would watch sometimes. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit of The Big Bang Theory.
I'm laughing to myself because I'm thinking about what were you? Oh, you were watching No Country for Old Men with your uncle,
Yes.
and he was like the ending happened, and his reaction just it makes me laugh.
Yeah, he was just like, "What the hell was that?"
What the hell was that? Just ends abruptly. Oh, God bless you,
Yeah,
Joe.
all because I told him it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, No Country for Old Men. That's a pretty good movie." He was, flipping through the dish, whatever the channel menu thing that
The dashboard or the guide.
the
That's what it's
guide.
called. Yeah, the
That's what they
guide.
call it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched like TV in so long. I forget these things. But yeah, it was called the guide. You're right. So yeah, flipping through the guide, he sees the movie. I'm like, yeah, No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a good movie. We should watch that. He's like, oh, okay.
What was
He
that?
he did not know what he was getting himself into.
Yeah. Yeah, but that show New Girl, there's a bunch of funny clips I've seen on Twitter throughout the years. And just I can't remember the guy's name, but he plays Peter B. Parker in Spider-Verse. Jake something. And he is the reason I want to watch that show because his performance and he also plays a character named Jake. His performance in that show is so hilarious. Like there's a scene where Zoe Deschanel, the new girl, is coming back from a date and she takes the guy to her apartment where she's living with all the other three guys. And Jake's just chilling on the couch with a beer, and she runs into the room before and shuts the door on the boyfriend or whatever on her date. And she runs in and she's like, "Jake, be gay." And he's like, "What?" She's like, "Be gay." And he's like, "Be gay." And then the guy walks in the room and she's like, "Oh, here's my wonderful gay roommate, Jake." And then he's like, mm-hmm. He just like sits there like nodding. And she's like, and then the date asks him a question. And he's like, "Oh, so I call you Jake?" And he's like, "Yep. And some people call me Gay Jake." his character, his performance in that show is so hilarious. There's also a scene where he like goes through Zoe Deschanel's character's
Lord.
room. And like he's like, "Look at all this crap you got in your room. What is this?" She's got a drawer of peanuts. He's like, "What are you, a zoo elephant?" Like there's a bunch of really quirky things. So anyway, and if for comments, concerns, and what shows you would recommend our way or to others, send them on over in the comments below or to snarpfanglepod@gmail.com, or you can just text Jake, not Gay Jake. All right, David. Well, we are gathered here today. Jeff Keighley's birthday happened recently, and so he has a show every year talking about the games industry and new games coming out. It's a big kind of splurge of news, kind of a continuation of the E3 era, we'll say, where the latest trailers and the droppings of what the latest publishers and developers of the video game industry are preparing for the audience. So, David, you wanted to talk about this, and I always follow it every year anyway, where we get a bunch of trailers, a bunch of announcements. I was wondering what made you want to kind of talk about this today. I know you mentioned Xbox, so let's get into that.
So yeah, I was just we were gonna do something different for this week's episode, and it just didn't happen. And you texted me saying, "Hey, what else could we do?" And I just happened to be watching it at that point, and like I think I was about like halfway through it at that point, and I was just watching it like just because I was like I'd already seen like individual things that it was that it was going to be covering, so I was like, this is kind of interesting. I'll watch the whole thing.
And you're talking about the Xbox showcase.
Yeah,
that they
the
just did.
Xbox Summer Showcase or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. And yeah, I was watching it. I was just like, I got to about the halfway point before I looked at your text and decided to respond. And by that point, it was like, I was watching like not the actual stream itself that had already happened. But I was watching like the YouTuber, the Act Man,
The Act Man.
reacting to it. So I was watching it and also his commentary. His commentary is mostly focused on just the direction of the brand in general.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, had that in my mind as I was watching it, and I was seeing what they were unveiling and what they were talking about. And it just seemed like a really good topic to dive into, just because like we've covered the decline of the Xbox brand on many an episode of this podcast. So to see them starting to claw their way out of the hole they've dug themselves into, it was like, I feel like we got to cover it somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I avidly follow this every year. I watch the Sony State of Plays, the Nintendo Directs, the Summer Games Fest from Jeff Keighley, the guy who just is just the best friend, or at least he thinks he's the best friend of Hideo Kojima, that guy. But anyway, enough said with making fun of Jeff. He's actually a pretty cool dude. But yeah, I thought it was interesting, especially this year, because Xbox, like we've talked about before, they're in a different spot. Asha Sharma's the new CEO. They kicked out or, forced retired Phil Spencer and a couple of the other leadership. But they got the booty, David. They got the Matt booty. They're still at Xbox. So it's Asha, Matt, and a bunch of new leadership in the executive roles. One of them I do want to go over is actually a guy named Matthew Ball, who's now the chief strategy officer, who was previously at Amazon, who was, let's see, I have it actually written here now that I brought it up. What do you see? Here we go. So he was the head of strategy and planning for Prime Video, greenlighting shows from The Boys all the way to Fallout. And he's most recently been hired by Asha Sharma to be the chief strategy officer for Xbox. So what is greenlit, what's not, what's going to release, what's not, what's in development, that kind of thing. Release schedule, all that kind of stuff. And as well as if things are going to be exclusive. Now, before we get any further, we will cover Xbox, some things from Summer Games Fest, as well as some State of Play stuff, mainly focused on Xbox and some other game announcements. We will not be talking about the Nintendo Direct, which is actually happening the day after we recorded this and the day before that we drop this podcast. So just so the audience is aware, we're not going to be talking about, I'm going to guess, that Ocarina of Time remake that's coming out and maybe some Switch 2 ports of some third-party games. And who knows, maybe that Duskbloods game as well as some other things as well. So I know I've asked you this before, David, but would a Switch 2 be enticing enough, especially if there's an Ocarina of Time remake on there? As a little side question for you.
Maybe.
I'm
not too hot on Ocarina of Time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Just because I didn't grow up with it. And it's kind of aged poorly in my opinion. I like, yeah, I'm not like a huge 3D Zelda fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand the cultural and like historical value of the games, especially Ocarina and Majora's Mask. Very important to the games industry and to the development of video games as an artistic medium. I understand that, but from a like player perspective, like my enjoyment of sitting and playing the game, 3D Zeldas as a whole aren't my
forte.
Yeah. I'm more of a 2D Zelda kind of guy.
Zelda 2. Your favorite Zelda.
Yes, everyone's favorite Zelda.
Everyone's favorite Zelda.
Hands down, universally acclaimed as one of the greatest games of all time.
Definitely not the bottom of the list, next to Skyward Sword for a lot of people. Oh, but anyway, speaking of Zelda, well, actually, no, we're just going to go back to this. Matthew Ball. So Matthew Ball, he was previously at Amazon Prime. He's now a part of the strategic stuff. Asha brought in recently as well a bunch of people that she was with at like Core AI Group. So basically all her posse that she used to work with at that company. So she brought in basically her whole team that she likes working with, and now they're head of Xbox executive team as well. But this Matthew Ball guy is super interesting. This is what Asha had to say about him. Matthew has been partnering with us on strategy since day 10 and will officially start this month. This was back, I believe, in April. And she said, reporting to me. And then there's something else here. So before we go any further, the Xbox showcase happened. The main thing to get out of the way is this. Xbox has labeled 2 games to be console exclusive in quotes. This is what the whole gaming space is talking about right now. But we kind of want to go through and piece through it and kind of see what we surmise and where Xbox is going to go from here. So here's a quote from Mr. Ball himself. He says, as part of our focus on the return of Xbox, we also announced that Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution will be Xbox console exclusives. These are not timed exclusives. Games already announced for multi-platform releases will stick to that plan. We're committed to investing in and growing Xbox both on console and beyond. So this is interesting because right now, Xbox, as a lot of people are aware of, are at the bottom of the totem pole right now. You get Nintendo out going off and doing their own thing. We have PS5 and Sony just dominating the space as well. And Xbox actually, from what I understand, stopped manufacturing their consoles last year to a certain degree. And now they just have whatever stock is in supply right now. And especially with the RAM shortage and, hard to get on the assembly line, they basically are kind of, SOL to make any more consoles as of this moment. Maybe they can get some deals going in, but with these things also, I think the base Xbox Series console right now is like $450 for the S now, which is just, that used to be $300.
Isn't the Series X like $800 now?
That's the highest one. But yeah, I think it's like $650 for a base Series X. I can double check that, but it's around $600 or up, which is, it's getting really crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And then they announced that the limited edition throwback Series X, the X25.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that thing's going to be expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. Yeah. So yeah, the top Series Xbox Series X for 2 terabyte is, I believe, $850. Let me look that up real quick. Prices. Yeah, $800 for the 2 terabyte model. And then certified refurbished is probably the cheapest you can get at $550, which is probably what I would recommend. Just go get certified refurbished from either Sony or Microsoft if you're really going to want to buy mostly new, because those are basically brand new consoles. They go through and replace all the parts.
Because on the Sony side, the PS5 Pro is like $900 now?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like $899, I think.
Yeah, it's expensive. Crazy. I mean, you can get a Steam Deck, which is 3-year-old hardware, and way less powerful than a PS5 and PS5 Pro, or get a PS5 Pro for the same price.
Yeah, that's crazy that the 2 terabyte Steam Deck OLED is like the same price as a PS5 Pro.
Crazy. 1 terabyte.
Oh, is it 1 terabyte?
Yeah, they don't do 2 terabytes.
Okay, that's never mind then.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, I was thinking of this. I think the Steam machine was going to have, the upper tier was going to have a 2 terabyte hard drive, right? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes, the Steam machine, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
The reason I'm bringing this up is before this leadership, the 4 leadership totally got rearranged and changed, and Mr. Satya Nadella came in and replaced Phil with Asha. Xbox didn't even put the console on sale during Black Friday last year. That's how neglected they've been of the brand. And it just goes to show the lack of care, in all honesty, as well as the layoffs and that kind of thing, which I'm sure will still happen as we go forward throughout the year. But this is something Matthew Ball says as well, since the showcase. He says, we know, he said that the announcement was the, in quotes, the start of a program, and that players can expect a reliable pipeline that validates their historical investment in the Xbox platform, keeps them as Xbox players going forward, and everyone in the industry understands that exclusives are important to the growth and branding of that platform. So, David, with that all said, what do you think of this new turn from Xbox?
I am cautiously optimistic because obviously, we haven't everyone's like, saying we're so back, baby, and like, putting, pasting pictures of Asha Sharma's face onto Jesus.
Oh
It's
God.
just a practice normally reserved for Gabe Newell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I think that level of celebration is not yet warranted because this is only a start, but it is a start. So I am optimistic cautiously about the future of Xbox. And there was a couple of things that I thought that was kind of cool that uh, sort of bolstered my optimism. One is you have the AI lady
Mm-hmm.
making the call to kill Copilot on consoles.
Yep.
Like that right there is mind-boggling.
That was a great. That call kind of showed me that they're willing to do what needs to be done to get this brand back on track.
Yeah, and then the other thing was I watched I think it was Bloomberg interviewed her about her like first
Oh,
100
you watched
days.
that? Yeah, yeah, I saw that too.
And she mentioned something because they brought up the rumored expense of the um Project Helix console that's coming out whenever it's coming out.
Mm.
And Asha Sharma's response to that was like, yeah, it's going to be expensive if we don't innovate. And then she said she basically said she's committed to innovating um and trying to change things up, whether it be business practices or whatever she's thinking of ways to make sure that the console's not prohibitively expensive during this, global RAM and storage crisis.
Yeah, I was watching that too, and there's actually a funny part. She makes a mistake and say, "Yeah, over 1 billion people play Xbox every year." I think she meant to say in the gaming industry, like play games every year. So I think that was just a slip of the tongue. But other than that, I think there's actually some pretty good questions asked by the Bloomberg lady. I was surprised, and
You can tell that they got written down for
yeah, totally.
by somebody who actually knows something about the games industry, because
Yeah.
reporters aren't that smart.
No, no, no. But yeah, it was very some poignant questions were asked, and I was like, okay, that's cool. All the comments were kind of glazing, like this is like a great interview and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
I mean, it was okay.
Whatever. Yeah, it's okay. It's like not that. It's an
It
interview.
was okay.
You know?
Like
barely
the,
interview information was
the
given.
Bloomberg lady read from her script just
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And Asha Sharma gave us some reasons to be optimistic, but other than that, it was just another interview.
Yeah, yeah, so we had that. And then you have Matt Booty. He was actually being interviewed. And that's when I read the external and internal quote, the last quote I said from here, the start of a program, And I love how he says that this in quotes that exclusives are important to the growth and branding of that platform, because that's kind of what has kind of been being said by a lot of pundits and kind of been the proof for a lot of things throughout the decades long history of the gaming industry. I mean, Nintendo's the best example of that. And now that Sony is actually moving back to exclusives, thank God. Even though I selfishly wanted all like Wolverine and Intergalactic on PC, I think for the survivability of the brand and where they're at, it's necessary. I mean, Sony has made, bringing up Sony here real quick, they have made poor choice after poor choice with various decisions in terms of live service and closing studios, and just bad investments and bad calls from really piss poor management, if I may say so, from Herman Hulst, that it's the only reason they're on. I'm so glad that they're at the top, because without them being at the top, their existence might be in question at this point as Sony as a company, since PlayStation is the most profitable aspect of them as a company. Xbox is a drop in the bucket for Microsoft. They spend what, a couple dozen billion dollars on the brand every year, and it's chump change compared to what they make off Windows and government contracts, etc. So this has kind of just been the pet project that has been somewhat been alive for the last 20 years, and they've always lost money off of it. So I don't really, and also it's important to point out, with all these decisions and stuff that Asha are doing, this is a lot of things Asha has inherited that was already on track to happen with Phil and the prior leadership. Like, of course, the console development of the new console, all the games that are currently releasing this year and next year and the year after that, all that stuff has been in development whilst Phil Spencer was greenlighting stuff and Matt Booty and all that kind of thing. So you see them making this thing, but also they keep making mistakes. There's today I just saw on Twitter that they privated one of the live streams for Gearsy Day, because on one of the graphics, it's written down there, it's for PS5, and they forgot to remove it.
Oh,
So they just reused the graphic, and then this was a call that they made. Hey, we're going to do console exclusivity. But they included the graphic by accident, and so they privated the video until they take it out, basically. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. I get why you're making the decision, but it's a slip.
I mean, it shows it at least shows that
It shows the original plan.
it shows that they're kind of that they're they're
Adjusting,
pivoting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, okay, they recognize now that they've been making some bad calls and that they need to go in a new direction.
And then this last week, Matt Booty, he went ahead and showed the booty again. He said that somebody asked him about having the PS5 logo in the end of the trailers, and he said, "Oh yeah, if it's for PS5, we're gonna keep it in there." And then because of a Twitter internet backlash after that interview, Asha came out and kind of corrected. And she's like, "No, we value this and exclusivity and that kind of thing." And it's just them kind of putting their foot in their mouth, and they just can't stop messing up, man. It's kind of, even without Phil, they still have this problem. So, in my opinion, get Matt Booty out of there. We don't need the booty anymore. I mean, he's failed quite a bit, and I'm surprised he's still there. Like, get somebody else to do his job. I'm sure they'll do great compared to this dude. But anyway, I think this is really interesting. I kind of share your same sentiment, David. I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't really have a leg in the race in the Xbox brand anymore, neither I would say to you. We don't own the new console or anything like that, or subscribe to Game Pass or what have you. But it is interesting to see what is going on and how they're kind of, again, like you said, pivoting.
And we both of us, we have a lot of history with Xbox.
Yeah.
Even though we're not like fanboys of the brand now, yeah, we have a lot of history with Xbox, and I want them to succeed.
Yeah.
I want them to continue doing cool Xbox things. It's good for gamers as a whole that they continue to do this. Competition, capitalism, baby.
Woo! None of that late stage stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting to kind of talk about, because we have Sony in their corner, or not in the corner, at the height right now of the industry. And then we have Nintendo also making a crap load of money on everything. It's funny. Nintendo just they just announced that they are going to raise the price.
Yeah, like at the end of the year or whatever.
September. Yeah, September 1st, they're going to raise the price of the Switch 2 by $50, which honestly isn't that much compared to like other examples in the industry.
But I mean, the Switch 2 is already kind of expensive for what it is.
Correct.
I mean, maybe not anymore.
Maybe not anymore.
But yeah, when it was first announced, it was like, really? It's going to cost that much?
Yeah, because I think the breakdown sheets from Moore's Law is Dead said that I think to Nintendo, it would cost Nintendo about $350 to make and manufacture the Switch 2 in each console. And so they could sell it for $350 or $400, and they went with $400 and $450. So they're getting a little bit more money. Or no, $450 and then $500. Excuse me. I keep forgetting it's that much. Dang. So anyway, I just think that's interesting. They're doing that. PlayStation keeps messing things up and mucking things up, even though they got great content. And same thing with Nintendo. Like, I've heard great things about Bonanza and Mario Kart. And did you see the new Star Fox trailer, David?
I did.
What do you think of the designs?
Curious. I actually kind of dig it, to be honest.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know. It's like not like.
It's not puppets.
It's not like great artistically.
Uh-huh.
It does kind of have that weird uncanny valley effect.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it like so many others do. For whatever reason, it just seems to fit. And I'm just like, this is kind of cool, actually. I hope it does well for the sake of all the Star Fox fans out there, because clearly this remake of 64 is a test bed for the future of the franchise. So I hope it does well, and I hope Nintendo continues to do cool things with the Star Fox franchise. I I don't think I played. I played the original quite a bit, but I played like a little bit of 64, and then I was like, I don't think I've touched a game in the franchise since. So I'm definitely not a Star Fox fanboy,
Mm.
but also, Star Fox is cool. And for the sake of the Star Fox fan base out there, I hope they continue to do cool things with the franchise.
Yeah, same here. I hope we get a Star Fox 2. An actual, interpretation of the original Star Fox 2.
Yeah, see, that would actually be kind of cool is if they like the brought in like the free roaming switch between
Isn't there like a walker
space.
mode?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like in Star Fox 2, you can switch between mech mode and like flying mode, whatever they call it. I don't remember what they call it. I played the game for like 2 seconds, and I just could not deal with the fact that the Super Nintendo cannot run that game.
No, no, definitely. Especially like even on the SNES Classic that you got.
Yeah, it's a struggle. So I played that game for like 2 seconds, so I don't really know everything about it. But yeah, it does have, you can switch between the two modes at will, and it's not on rails. Like you can free roam in the level environments.
Mm.
So it'd be really cool to see Star Fox, like actually the next generation of Star Fox, take some of those ideas instead of just continuing to be, because it's like the franchise is what, like on rail shooters plus some like really crappy spin-off games that were just didn't need to exist.
Yeah, as much as I love and feel a little warm in my heart whenever I think of Star Fox Adventures,
Stairfax temperatures.
exactly. It doesn't need to exist, but I'm glad it does. And I grew up playing a ton. This was like my childhood game, Star Fox Assault, which is not very, fondly looked at to the fan base, but I had a lot of fun with it. I remember playing a lot of co-op. Actually, I think it was like Thad, Chris, and like James at one point. There was some party at the house, and the older sibling, right, and his buddies played Star Fox Assault with me, and I like trounced them. It was like the only game I could trounce them at. And yeah, once Thad got the R-Wing though, it was over. It was over, man. But anyway, Nintendo, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Nintendo, and just pissing all over your fan base like you do time and time again. Why is the most best-selling franchise, Pokemon, got the most crappiest of crappy quality content? Why? Except for maybe Pokopia, from what I hear.
Yeah, I don't know.
And people lap it up, man.
Yeah, that's what really disturbs me about Pokemon.
We need to get off of this, but yeah, go for it. See your piece.
It's just like all the games are just like the same
thing.
recycled crap over and over again. And then they have these weird spin-offs like Pokemon Stadium, Pokopia, and whatever.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever else they've had that are just like, they're like more like tech demos than full games.
Yeah.
Because it's like, sure, the concepts are kind of cool in each of those, but it's like, I need more for a full game, man.
More, yeah.
After
after 30 years, you'd figure they'd, reinvent the formula a little bit at least.
And also too, it's like, at what point are you gonna like actually give us like a real honest to God, like deep Pokemon full length home console RPG? Because the mainline games are just essentially RPG light anyway.
Yeah, basically.
It's a ripoff of Dragon Quest or whatever it was. So it's like you see a lot of JRPGs from like respected developers like Atlas and whatnot have these like really great integration with the worlds, the art style of the actual rendered graphics and like anime cutscenes and stuff. It's like, when are we going to get like a full featured Pokemon RPG where all the cutscenes feel like you're watching the anime?
Or actual voice acting, because that's something they have not put in any Pokemon game mainline as of right now. Like
They
Lexi
don't have
got
voice acting in any of the games?
not in any of the new ones. Lexi got the one for the latest one where it's like basically in France or whatever, or Paris, France. And oh my God, it's just text based. There's still no voice acting.
Well, I guess,
Zelda got voice acting before Pokemon.
yeah,
Come on.
I guess that tracks. They just added voice acting to Zelda, and it was very limited.
Very, yeah.
Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
like that would be awesome to see, is like a full featured creature catching RPG
Witcher 3 and Pokemon had a baby. Give
with
that to me.
full on cutscenes, full on voice acting,
Side
and basically
quests.
you like, it looks like you're watching an episode of the anime when the cutscenes are happening.
Yeah.
That's what I'd want to see from a Pokemon game. And instead they just give us the same crap over and over again.
And I'm sure we'll get that same crap at the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. But I don't know, man. Let's stop talking about Nintendo. Let's get back to the Green Machine. So the next thing I kind of want to go over, David, is I want to hear what you think. Will this exclusive kind of push, how is this going to affect Project Helix, which is their next console? Also, Matt Booty also kind of mentioned about affordability, like you said, in terms of the console and kind of redoing the formula, or innovating, I think was the term, to kind of make it more affordable for people. Because right now, the specs that we're looking at for next generation is basically this. Again, this is from Moore's Law is Dead, who kind of tracks all this. RDNA 5, which is AMD's next generation graphics initiative, their next graphics cards are going to have this new updated hardware. The PS6, as well as the PS6 handheld, and Project Helix will all have RDNA 5 architecture built in. Whatever AMD is cooking, the consoles are going to get modified versions of that as well. So it's all going to be kind of the same level playing field in terms of compatibility. So this RDNA 5 is like leaps and bounds higher in ray tracing capabilities and et cetera, et cetera. It's more rasterization, much more powerful. And the amount of power that is reported to be in Project Helix from the spec sheets, it's looking like you're going to get, in 2027 at least, a $1,500 PC in a $1,000 package, because they're going for massive power for a cheaper price. But again, it's at $1,000. So that's the current right now. They could change it. We have 1.5 years until release, so we'll see. Or theoretically 1.5 years until we see the console or see the release of it. But with more exclusives, where do we go from here, David? They're starting with these two. What do you think's the next step?
At this point, I almost feel like Xbox is going to have to like extend the life of the current series consoles somehow, some way. Either just by continuing to release really, really good games for them, or something that makes people want to buy the consoles even though their hardware is getting a little long in the tooth. Because, I think there is a place for outdated hardware that has the right combination of price, available games, features that you want, kind of a thing, where if all those things come together in the right way, you can sell outdated hardware to people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, back when I was hoping for like a, sub $700 Steam machine, I was pretty sold on that concept, even though the hardware on that is pretty outdated at this point. So I think with the right combination of price, features, and good games for the system, you can make out people want to buy outdated hardware. And so I think probably what they're going to have to do is figure out how to make that happen, so that when they introduce the Project Helix, they're not relying on their entire player base to transition over to the Helix for, in terms of actual like generating profits,
this wasn't an original thought from me, but I've heard it's been spoken that if PlayStation, because of the massive amount of ray tracing available to them, they could remaster very quickly, or take a lot of assets from a certain game, say Infamous, for example, which is now rumored to be remastered here soon.
Man,
Infamous 1 and 2.
these gamer masters are getting out of control, dude. It's like,
But like,
remastering Infamous doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, was that game loved by anyone?
I mean, I wasn't a PlayStation guy at the time, but I've heard people still say good things about it. But also, it's like I see people like say they love a lot of things, and then those don't get remastered, or they do end up getting remastered and barely anybody buys it. So I don't know. But I don't know much about Infamous, but say they do that, for example, and they just inject it kind of like Oblivion Remastered. They take the old engine, they inject all the graphics into it, they make new assets for it, and it's a much more streamlined process compared to just remaking everything from the ground up. So say they take the old that and they just inject it into a PS3 game. That's one selling point you could take for the PS6, for example. Now, for the Xbox, I've also kind of, just by listening to different podcasts and things, again, this is not original thought for me, but bringing back the backwards compatibility program and making a way for your Xbox games made for Xbox consoles to work on PC. Because right now the Helix is basically going to be just a PC, as far as we understand. So that's one way they could do it. From me, I honestly don't know what else they could do except, like what you said, make good games. And maybe with the help of Matthew Ball and Asha, they could greenlight some good things. But then you only got a year and a half until release. So what are you going to help spool up or get going in a year and a half? I mean, you're not going to release anything in that time, but I'm curious to see what they could spool up and greenlit at this point to then show it off next year's showcase.
Yeah, like that Asha Sharma was talking about in that Bloomberg interview, is they're going to have to do some innovation. They're going to have to like figure out some wild idea that they can run with that hopefully make these things work for them.
What do you think those innovations could look like?
Yeah, I don't know. I think figuring out a way to stabilize the console manufacturing situation on their end, where they can bring the series consoles to people at an affordable price, that if they can figure out something in that field, I think that would go really far towards helping smooth the transition to the next generation. Another thing too is like what you said, like making old games like work on PC, like figuring something out where like people can like kind of give the power back to the people in some sense.
Power to the players.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, give them the tools to do with the games and the consoles like what they've always been wanting to do, you know, kind of a thing. Like recently they made it so that you can have a developer account, an Xbox One developer account for free now.
For free.
Which there's limited things you can do with that at this point, because the only thing you can install is a particular type of application that is it basically only exists for developers. It's a particular type of application that runs both on Windows PCs, natively on both Windows PCs and Xbox hardware.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It's like, called AWP, I think.
That was it. Something Windows platform. Yeah.
Yeah, so
and that's the type of packages I believe you can run.
Yeah, so that's the only software you can install right now. But I mean, people are doing things with that. Like there's both Dolphin and
the emulator,
RetroArch, both have AWP versions available, and then somebody made a fork of PC SX2 or whatever, the PC or the PS2 emulator.
Yeah,
Someone
PC
made a
SX,
fork someone made a fork of that works on Xbox now. So like people already are doing things with that, with what Microsoft has handed them, even if it's a very limited thing at the moment. So it's like, I feel like if Xbox can figure out ways to, hand players just a little bit more control over what they do with their console, over how they play their games, I think that could pay some dividends for them.
Yeah, I think honestly, giving a little humble pie, kind of like what they did when they were behind during the Xbox One generation. They brought back backwards compatibility at E3 one year. I remember that announcement. I was like, as a person who was like an avid follower at that point who wanted to get an Xbox One over a PS4, I always was like, oh yeah. Like I was in my room folding laundry and I watched the live stream of them at E3 and they announced it. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is huge. This is such a great thing. I think they could do a similar thing like that, say next year. We already know that Clockwork Revolution is going to be exclusive. Heck, get like somebody to remake Conquer or get a lot of this IP out to AA and indie developers and have them do pitches on it. I'm sure somebody like, Platonic Games would love to do something with Banjo, for example, because that's basically who they are in DNA, or even Conquer, or heck, give me a Psychonauts 3.
Ooh,
Code
there you
dev,
go.
get Double Fine in there, code deving with somebody else, and get it going, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Toys for Bob just revealed Spyro,
Yeah.
which is super cool.
I was about to say that too, because one I was gonna mention, you talked about Banjo. It's like I
Yeah.
watched the showcase through
Through
an
Ackman's eyes.
Ackman through an Ackman React video. So it was like there was a couple there was like more than one transition like in between trailers where it's like it's gonna be Banjo. And then it like there was a couple times where it was like the trailer started, it clearly wasn't Banjo. And within like the first 3 seconds, he's like, okay, it's gonna hard cut to Banjo right now.
Yeah, it's the Fable. It's Haley Atwell in the Fable trailer, and that's gonna cut and be here.
But yeah, I honestly was kind of blown away that they announced a brand new Spyro game.
Yeah,
which is super cool. And then I looked a little bit more into it. The people who are developing it, their previous game in the series that they developed was the remastered original trilogy, and I guess that was very well received.
Yeah.
And I guess they didn't have the original source code.
Nope.
So they rebuilt the game from scratch.
Same thing with the Crash Insane trilogy. They totally rebuilt it from scratch.
So,
which is so funny. Funny anecdote about that, just real quick. In Uncharted 4, there's a sequence where you sit on the couch and you play the original Crash Bandicoot level, but they didn't have the source code. It is gone. So Naughty Dog in 2014, 15, 16 had to remake that level from scratch in the Uncharted engine.
That's pretty funny.
So, and it looked and feels just like the original. It's really cool.
But yeah, so it's like that. I mean, that right there shows that they're a talented, capable developer. So it's like if they can do that with, a re-release of the original games, just like build them completely, all 3 games completely from scratch and have it come out well, then I'm pretty excited to see what they can do with their own brand new Spyro game.
Yeah, let's get into this. I kind of want to go into transition to what we would want to see for the next Xbox or next generation, because we're talking about basically what is being pitched, where Sony, Microsoft, they have all this wonderful IP that they could license out. I mean, we're seeing Toys for Bob is a great example because they used to be with Activision. They did the Spyro trilogy while they were under Activision's leadership. They left when Microsoft bought Activision. It was all a deal they worked out with each other. And now they are making the Spyro trilogy for Microsoft under an independent studio label of Toys for Bob.
Wait. I thought the original Spyro trilogy was one of like Sony's, was like Insomniac, right?
I don't remember.
I just looked this up on Wikipedia.
I think you're right on that one.
And I've already forgotten, but I think it was Insomniac that developed the originals, which is why they were originally on PS2. or PS1 and PS2, or were they? What console were they on?
PS1. Insomniac Games, you're right, did the original ones. But same thing with Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog created Crash Bandicoot, but Activision then owned the IP. Same thing with Spyro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it was.
So we got original PlayStation Studios making those games, but Activision still owned the IP and then made how other.
So it was a
studios make it.
Sony-owned dev,
Correct.
but it was actually published under a different company.
Correct. And after that, that's actually a great example because after that, going forward, Sony decided, especially during the PS3 era, hey, we're not going to publish anything unless we own the IP. And for many things. That's one reason Limbo went to Xbox Summer of Arcade. They went to Sony first and said, hey, we want to make this. Would you be willing to publish it and fund us? And they said, no, unless we own the IP. Then they went to Microsoft, and Microsoft's like, all right, yeah, you can do Limbo. And then Limbo is now a renowned game nowadays.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I think
bring back more of that.
Yeah.
More of that pro indie developer spirit, man. That's what's going to get Xbox through these times.
And that's what got them basically through Xbox One era with the ID at Xbox initiative and as well as backwards compatibility. David, there's a game out there called Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun. It's a boomer shooter created by, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's in my Steam library, so I'll open it up here.
I've seen it, yeah. I've never played it, but I've seen gameplay footage of it.
I would love, because they're coming out with a sequel soon, knowing that studio, that little indie dev, is making that thing with that IP. They've been known to be trusted with that IP, and they were successful with the first game. They're getting the second one out. Give them Halo. Give them a side story that's pixelated in that art style. Give them like a Sergeant Johnson side story or an Arbiter or ODST side story to let them create it. Like give them the Halo IP is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would actually love to see like a Halo boomer shooter, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
those are super popular right now.
There's a few Doom 2 mods that are Halo themed, and like it's one of those things like it doesn't seem like it would work super well, but it does.
Yeah.
So like I would love to see some pixelated Magnum and some sprite based grunts.
You're getting, man, it has some good stuff. And there's other devs as well that you could find and just send it out and see who pitches what. Say, hey, we got this list of IP. Here's 25 different IPs we're going to put up. If you're an indie dev, you want to pitch it to us, email us, let us know, see what you want to create. Because also, if they focus on the smaller devs as well, that's something you could probably get a quick turnaround on as well. Like making a Bolt Gun Halo game, for example, they could probably turn that around in like 2 years. Bolt Gun, the first one came out in 2024, I believe. And they did another game in between that last year. And then the sequel's coming out, I believe, 2027 or this year even. So these games can get together pretty quickly because they're not this massive AAA design. So it's just all benefit. The studio stays alive, the devs. Microsoft gets their IP out to gamers in a cool format, and Microsoft and them all make money. Like you'll have stinkers and losers, but you'll also get winners and successes. And who knows, maybe you can also partner with that studio and you don't have to buy the cow if the milk's free and just have them license other stuff. Like after they do a Halo game, give them Wolfenstein, see what they do with Wolfenstein. Get the Dusk devs on a Quake IP. Do something like that.
Yeah.
Heck, I mean, I know that what's their faces are busy, but take Larian Games. Like say, hey, like what would you guys want to do? I know you're doing Divinity, a new Divinity game, but what would you guys want to do? Would you guys want to tackle, I don't know, maybe Blinks the Time Sweeper or whatever? I don't know. Larian's not a good example for that, but connect with these devs and see what they can do.
Yeah, honestly, or just like see what's going on in the indie development community already and like say, hey, you guys want some money to actually bring your projects to like, more full realization? Because it's like, look at Night Dive. Like the main guy who's like the main like designer guy is like Carl something, I can't remember his name, is started off like before he was with anyone, he was like had reverse engineered the um Doom 64 to like the actual source code of the console itself or of the cartridge itself to create a source port that could play Doom 64 on your PC. Like he was just doing that of his own initiative, and then he got, I don't know if he got a job at Night Dive after that or he was already working at Night Dive, but then somebody at Bethesda noticed and they're like, they started putting him on remaster duty, and look what we've gotten out of that.
Yeah, and that's another cool thing. I think Night Dive is now owned by Atari, and Atari's got kind of purchased these little indie studios starting out as indie, and they've been doing remaster after remaster. That's a great example. Night Dive is they're great at that. And now we're getting Thief, a remaster of Thief that's actually going to be playable on consoles, which is super awesome. I mean, we have the Turok games, all this other stuff. I know it's other devs, but I would say, here's another example. Ghost Ship Games, who did Deep Rock Galactic. Get them to do like partner them up with Microsoft and let them choose an IP and get a co-op shooter going or a survival shooter going up, like a friend slap game. Like these things are killing on Steam, and they're made for very little money or not a whole lot of money, and have them kind of dive into the genre, and your buddies on your other Helix consoles or even Xbox Series S or whatever, those lighter games can run on that kind of hardware. So get them to make titles like that are easy to run, fun, and with just the simple concepts like that. Another example I have here is Greylock Studio, who did that game Echo Point Nova, which is like Titanfall meets Doom. It's this like flow state first-person shooter where you're going on these floating islands and you're parkouring around them. And it's super dope. Get them to do a Quake interpretation. Or hey, since say id is taking a break from Doom, have them do like a Doom interpretation. Or heck, Hex. Dude, go out and find a dev to do Hexen. And just like there's a lot you could do.
Hexen, then that already got a Night Dive remaster.
No, I know that, but not just remaster, but a new game.
Like a new game.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Honestly, to be honest, like if it feels almost like Doom the Dark Ages was supposed to be Hexen and id's like, no, wait a second.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't sell this under the Hexen IP. That just people won't buy it. So they turned it into a Doom game.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if you saw it, but they announced this week that Platinum Games did like Nier Automata and Bayonetta. They're doing a TMNT Last Ronin game.
Oh,
that just got announced.
Okay.
And it's just a CGI trailer or artistic announcement, but like, oh my god, those are the kind of deals that I see happen that I'm like, why isn't Xbox or PlayStation doing something like this? I mean, we had a thing happen at Microsoft just recently. Platinum Games did Ninja Gaiden 4 last year, and that was like kind of a love letter to that whole genre, and they partnered with another studio to do it. And it was like, I want to know whose idea it was to partner these people and to get into these conference rooms to talk to these folks and to get the deal signed, because keep that guy on task, because that guy is going to get all the stuff you and me are talking about, David, done. This IP with this studio, let's figure out a deal.
Speaking of Ninja Gaiden, one of the games that looked kind of cool, I think it was Wolong 2.
Yeah, Wolong 2, yeah.
Is developed by Team Ninja.
Yeah, they're partnering up with them and doing stuff. I'm sure that'll be, I think I wrote it down here if that was a console exclusive or not. I don't think so.
No.
But it was announced at the Xbox.
Yeah.
thing. So they're probably doing marketing for them is my guess. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. That's what they're doing. And it's going to be on Switch too, which is interesting. Well, while we're here, do you have any other ideas of what other devs you would like to cover different IP, David? Like maybe a Rareware IP? Heck, I would love Jet Force Gemini to return in some form or some other IP, Get an indie dev on it. What kind of IP would you pair an indie dev to? Not specific devs, but let's say an IP you want to see back.
It'd be kind of cool is Get Night Dive on a new BioShock game.
Hmm.
I
But
think.
but Microsoft. I'm talking about Microsoft IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just like we were talking about
That
Night
sounds
Dive.
dope though.
We were talking about Night Dive, and that just like came to my mind in the
Mm-hmm.
moment. I've never thought about that before. So just like that was like, whoa, yeah, that would be cool. Microsoft IP.
Let me
Let's see.
see. Xbox IP. Let me type this in.
What would I want to see brought back? It seems like they're bringing back so many things. There's not really a whole lot left. Um, what would I want to see?
Well, they own the Pro Skater license for Tony Hawk. We just got a new one of that. They have Crash Bandicoot. They have Killer Instinct. You got Doom. You got all the other stuff. You got Perfect Dark, which they canceled, so that's probably not going to see anything. List of Xbox games.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Maybe I don't know. New Battletoads.
Yeah, it's man.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the stuff Microsoft owns has kind of
Oh,
been
David. Sorry to interrupt you. They own Pitfall.
oh yeah,
There
that's
you
right.
go.
Activision.
Yeah.
That's right. We were talking about that on another episode. Yeah, new like Uncharted style cinematic Pitfall game. Like come on, man. You can't go wrong with that. Well, I mean, yes, you could. You absolutely could. But
Do you think anybody would do anything with like Commander Keen?
oh, nobody would buy that. Like I don't even know if people know what that is.
What that is, yeah. How about Crimson Skies from the Flight Simulator devs?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, actually, what was that? What was that mech game on the OG Xbox? That came with the big old like
Oh,
controller.
dang, I don't remember.
It
I
was
know what you're
like
talking
it
about
was
though.
like something. It was like something steel or something.
Oh, was it Mech Game? Man, what was it? Mech Assault.
Mech. No, it's not Mech Assault.
Yeah, it's coming out. Mech Warrior, Mech Assault.
It was on the OG Xbox, and it came with a giant like spaceship controller. Basically, it wasn't a
Huh.
controller. It was like it came with this
Mech on
giant like
original Xbox.
control.
Mech Assault, Wolf, Phantom Crush, Robotech, Gunmetal, Steel Battalion.
Steel
Steel
Battalion.
Battalion. Now,
Yeah.
what's Steel Battalion? I think
Steel Battalion is like a hardcore mech game.
Oh, okay. Oh, holy crap. This thing's huge.
And like yeah, it
Dang.
came with its
Got
own
pedals and
controller
stuff like that.
and like
Mm.
basically the concept behind it was if you were about to like you had different mechs that you could use and if you were about to die, you would eject and then that mech would be destroyed and you'd have to use a different mech to continue the game. But if you didn't eject in time, your character would die and the game would be over.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a very hardcore game. It's like, I feel like, you know, I was going to actually bring up something kind of like that. It's like we're kind of getting into like this era where consoles and the lines between console and PC are starting to blur a little bit. So like Steel Battalion obviously did not do well. It was
Yeah, the last game was a Connect game in 2012.
yeah, it was not the it was not the right time for that IP to flourish in a console environment. But now that like we have all this kind of console PC crossover, you have things like Valve is pretty much like paved the way um, for games that would normally require a lot more inputs than a controller is capable of to be workable on a controller. Um, I think now could be a good time to bring that back. That would be kind of cool, actually.
Trying to figure out what IP I would pair with Supergiant. Because say Microsoft's like, hey, we want to do a console exclusive. You get to release on Steam. You get to keep the IP. Or no, we use our IP. But I'm trying to think of what I would hand them. I'm looking through the list right now. Man, I don't really know. I would love to see Hexen come back first off. Crimson Skies would be really interesting, as well as Pitfall. I think those are like my top ones. They also own Prototype. Interesting. Going back to our infamous discussion.
Yeah, I don't think I ever played Prototype.
Man, what else? They also own Blur, of course, Dishonored, which I think
Yeah,
those guys are doing Blade right now.
actually, yeah, that's that's really interesting because one of the games that was um spoiled or announced was this weird Napoleon game.
Dude, yeah, what the heck was that? Valor Mortis, I think was what it's called.
Yeah, yeah, Valor Mortis. And dude, for like the first half of the trailer, I was like, is this another Dishonored game?
Yo, yeah, right? I was like, what is this? This is so weird. But it looks interesting, and it's coming out in like a few months. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, I was surprised to see the amount of original IP, especially that Magician's game that they showed, and that so bizarre, but so interesting.
Yeah.
They got Time Shift on here, Space Quest, Skylanders. Hey, David, bring the Skylanders back.
Ooh, it'd be another interesting one to bring back
Mm.
is Rage.
Yeah, they did that during the Xbox One era. I remember they did two. So, like, man, what dev would I pair that with?
I mean I still think that that was id originally who did Rage.
Yeah,
So I feel like they could bring that back themselves.
yeah, they probably could. There's that game Metal Eden that came out is a Doom-like game. The developer, it was published by Deep Silver. Rycon Games, though, was the developer, and they did that game Ruiner. It was that top-down melee shooting, kind of like Hotline Miami, but you're a cyborg,
Hmm.
and the AI controls you. They did that game called Metal Eden. It came out last year. I have yet to play it, but I heard great things. It's a really cool movement shooter. I would put them on like Hexen or something, because that would be dope.
Yeah,
But
Hexen, like
yeah.
a new Hexen game would be cool.
Mm.
What would be cool in general is like new like first person like RPGs slash immersive sim kind of games.
Mm.
Cause I think that's why I brought up BioShock is like I've been hankering for like somebody to do something with the immersive sim genre that was like cool and fresh instead of just remastering old ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They have Saber Man. Sorry, I'm still going through these. Viva Pinata, David.
Mm. Maybe
Man,
not.
it sucks that Perfect Dark project didn't turn out well, because that would have been cool. Like a first person linear mission based, just AAA shooter. Man, that'd be man. I think we're leaning toward what was it? Pitfall, Hexen. What's the other shooter? There's Hexen, and then there's another one. They did a pack of it. Heretic.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Heretic is
yeah.
basically like Hexen, but with it's closer to being an FPS.
Okay.
Because Heretic was the first game, like the first game in those two franchises. Heretic was the first one, and so it was like it was a fantasy setting, but it was still very much like it played like a Doom game. So it was like all your spells and weapons and stuff, they they were fantasy spells and weapons, but they behaved exactly like guns.
Hmm.
And then they released Heretic and Heretic or Hexen, and Hexen was originally subtitled Beyond Heretic.
Interesting.
So it was like Hexen is where they kind of like took those ideas from Heretic and made it more feel like a fantasy game rather than a like swords and sorcery game rather than just a shooter.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would love to see kind of more development done in that kind of game because you got the remastered Heretic and Hexen. You've got some Doom and Heretic and Hexen mods that kind of explore that sort of first person swords and sorcery RPG-ish sort of thing. But I would love to see like an actual development studio do something new with that style of gameplay.
Yeah. I'm also seeing they have the Crime IP. I think that's under Activision, I believe. Yeah, this is all under Activision too. Also got Guitar Hero and Gun, stuff like that, Hearthstone. I don't know. I would love to see some IP brought back, but especially Pitfall Hex and a couple others that we've mentioned before. That'd be and just give them to smaller devs and you don't got to worry about it. You just got to worry about funding it and marketing it. Obviously, you're flipping the bill, but your other studios can just don't have to mess with that now. And you can focus on just the smaller titles and build up not only goodwill, but prop up that IP and utilize it and try to get some awareness of it as well.
And you could also license IPs that aren't like, dead per se.
Yeah.
Where they've had consistent releases, but give the IP to talented indie developers to do little spin-off games in that series. Like what I was talking about before, it'd be really cool to see a Halo boomer shooter. Like have a talented indie developer build a Halo game in GZ Doom.
There you go. Yeah.
Like I would honestly.
Yeah, I told you about that game Supplice that I played through the first level, and I'm like, dude, this is really interesting. Like get these guys on like like Doom or something.
Yeah, like honestly, like I could imagine like a Halo game where it was like really gritty and pixelated, but it had like that some punch to it. Like you've seen the footage of Fallout Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Like even though it's all sprite based, like
dude, give those guys
like
man.
Like the combat looks really like meaty and visceral, even though it's pixelated. But like the art style totally fits. Like a
the
really
original Fallout,
like a really meaty pixelated Halo game. I could see that happening.
That'd be a lot of fun.
See that working.
Well, speaking of that IP, do you want to go through the showcase and the list of games they revealed?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, let's do this. So, Xbox Showcase 2026, they opened up the show with Gears E-Day, releasing October 26th, and they also said, from Asha's mouth, that it is a Xbox console exclusive. So, it'll be on PC, but exclusive to the Xbox platform on console. All right, I'm not a Gears guy, honestly.
I'm not like a Gears fanboy. I did play the first one way back in the day on the 360, and I loved it, to be honest. But then I kind of like forgot that the franchise existed after that because I rented the game, played through the campaign, and that's about it. And it was cool, but at the time, like I couldn't, like all my siblings were too young to play a gory game like that, so I couldn't play through the campaign with them. I wasn't connected to the internet. I wasn't doing online gaming, so I couldn't enjoy the multiplayer. So after that, after I returned the game to wherever I rented it from, I kind of just like
bid farewell.
I essentially said goodbye to the franchise. But honestly, this new one looks really, really good.
Yeah, you could tell they've been cooking this for a while. This thing looks good.
Honestly, this is kind of like this like this is kind of dependent on whether the new Xbox is like actually follows through on some of the things that it's purported to do. Like if the new Xbox delivers on some key things, this actually definitely would, I think would pull me closer towards actually purchasing one.
And resubscribing to Game Pass?
Hell no.
Well, the next one, because Gears E-Day, most of this stuff is going to come to Game Pass. I have it listed here. So this will be console exclusive, also on Game Pass. The next one is Fable, Game Pass and PS5, releasing February 23rd, 2027. They got out of that GTA range. Them and, well, everybody else. So yeah, Fable, I have no history with this franchise. I could care less. It looks cool. I think it's cool that Playground, which I didn't know this, was a British developer. And They make all the Forza games, obviously. But them finally nailing down a release date for this that they've been cooking for years. Gosh, this has been development, I think, for like 7+ years. It's been forever.
This one to me was like, I'm not a Fable fan by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot of people really, really love the Fable, like the first Fable game.
Yeah.
Like, I've never played it, but it, like, the choice system that it had, like, resonated with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people who really love the Fable franchise, but the Fable franchise has not loved them back. So I hope for their sake that this one's good, because I would hate to see another great franchise like that just continue in the slump that it's been. And unfortunately, I'm not too keen on this one because, for one, you don't really see any gameplay, and for another thing, it's like, you know, like generic strong whammon of color narrating and doing cool like cool combat stuff.
Haley Atwell's white, David.
Not the character in the game.
Yeah, you talking about the main chick in this trailer?
Yeah, she's like
Isabel.
She's like,
dude, she was not totally white.
She's not white.
Yeah, she's white.
No, she's got tan skin.
No, it was very dimly lit, dude.
She's got tan skin.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of franchises that are in a slump, and man, is this slump huge. Halo Campaign Evolved, releasing on Game Pass and PS5, July 28th.
Oh, God.
So I'm really curious to hear what you thought of the footage, because I get it. They're really hyping this up. They made it look really good, but I just don't have any faith, David. My faith is missing from this one.
I mean, what they showed us, like, they mostly showed us like cinematics.
Yeah.
Sprinkled with some gameplay sprinkled in there, but it was all very chaotic. Like, there's just a lot of flashy things going on, a lot of jump cuts, so you don't really get a sense of if those new missions are going to be any good or not. They just essentially edited the trailer to make it look as flashy as possible. There's really no way to tell if those missions are actually going to be good. And also, there's only 3 of them.
Yeah, just 3 missions.
3 missions. The original campaign, no multiplayer, and no David Scully.
You get co-op. That's about it. Wait, David Scully. What?
The dude who that's his name, right? David Scully, the guy who voiced Johnson.
Yeah, he's not. They recast him. Yeah.
Like, dude,
is he dead? Is he still alive?
He like retired or something.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it was like, dude, like,
I think the new voice is fine. I'm not offended by it. I just do miss David Scully.
It was like, it had that uncanny valley thing. It was just too weird.
Yeah.
It was like close, but
it was
not close enough, not dead on. So it was just like in that uncanny valley zone.
I think this trailer made me excited to actually, you know what? I might actually get this and play it. Also, it's $50. It's the original game redone. I could picture myself playing this. Like, out of everything, this would probably out of this and the Dark Ages expansion, this is what I will probably end up playing.
I don't know.
All the other stuff, probably not.
I don't know if I get this, man. It just looks
not right away, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if it gets discounted to like $20, maybe I'll get it down the line. But like, it looks so lazy.
I feel like, because I don't trust Halo Studios at all. Like, now that I know that the people because there's actually a quote that I wasn't aware of back in Halo 5 era, David, where they went out and they said, yeah, we purposefully hired people who were not familiar with the IP or were not fans of the IP just so that we can get a different perspective on the franchise. And it's like, so you're purposefully hiring people that you still want to sell to instead of selling to your fans who have been there this entire time? What are you doing? So that as well as what 343 Industries has evolved into, and with like, there's not much hope, I think, for the Halo franchise. it's in a period where like it's going to try to attempt to redefine itself or to refine its identity. While they do that, I think they're just going to start remastering the rest of the franchise. I think we'll get Halo 2 remake after this and then Halo 3. Those are touching perfection, so I'm kind of scared of what they're going to do to them. But if we do get extra missions, I think I'll be fine with it, but it's just not going to be it's not going to be what it once was, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like
I don't think it's even going to be what it was once in the Xbox One era.
Yeah, it's just they have no idea what made Halo so special.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like, it's UE5 slop.
Yep.
They're just slapping together to try and make a quick buck. I mean, sure, maybe it'll turn out to be great.
Maybe.
But from what I'm seeing, it looks like something that they just are slapping together to make some quick money.
Last thing I'll say about it is what you said, like how they have no idea what they're doing with the franchise or know what makes it good. You're spot on with that, because in the gameplay for Silent Cartographer, they removed the rock that blocks you from getting the warthog up there, the section that like blocks you off from the hunters. In the remastered back in 2011, you can go through and you can go with that rock was also removed. So they took the original where it blocked you from the warthog. If you know how to get through it, you can get your warthog to the hunters in the OG Halo. It was extremely hard and difficult, but you could technically do it. Then they totally removed the rock and said, oh, just take the warthog through the entire level. That's kind of really takes away the design of that area and fighting the hunters, and it makes it super easy to fight them. This was supposed to be a special moment where you are one-on-one with these two beasts, first experiencing and first having to fight them. And now that was kind of taken away in the original remaster from 2011, and now they're carrying that over from this new remake in 2026.
Yeah. It's like the first half of the Silent Cartographer is basically the kind of combat that defined what was so good about the original Halo. And to not get like a bang on updated version of Silent Cartographer that keeps all the original design but brings it in the next generation, to not get that shows that they don't know what they're doing.
I think it also shows they don't respect what was before. I think this is going to be a fan. I think this is going to appeal to a lot of people. I think people are going to have fun with it. They're like, oh, $50? Yeah, sure. Or hit Game Pass? Yeah, sure. But it's just to hold over while they kind of find their identity again, which I feel like Halo's been missing their identity forever, but I don't want to talk about it forever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, the only reason why I feel like it's going to be mildly successful, but the only reason it's going to be mildly successful is because it seems like gamers will buy almost anything these days. As long
Even
as
though they say they won't.
Yeah, they say they won't, but it seems like for whatever reason, they'll buy almost anything these days. And so Halo Remake has just enough of that nostalgia hit to get people to open up their wallets.
As we go through the show, I was kind of worried because as they opened the show, you had three bangers in the sense of, hey, these are big games. You had Gears, Fable, and Halo. And I'm like, what else are you going to show in the show? Like, there's not a whole lot left from what I can tell. I think in terms of looking at the show, they did a pretty good job with the pacing. But we'll get to it, but ending on a Call of Duty sucked. But let's get to the next game, which is such a weird title. Resonance, A Plague Tale Legacy. Releasing on Game Pass and PS5, releasing August 27th. I played the original Plague Tale Innocence, which is where you play this little French girl with her even littler brother. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this game, David, but the concept was you're in like 1500s France and the plague happens, right? But the spin on it is it's like almost supernatural, and the rats are like waves upon waves of rats are like sentient that kill and eat people.
Interesting.
It's super dope. And this game was really good, the original. And then the sequel, Requiem, came out several years ago. I never got a chance to play it, but I heard even better things about the sequel. This is looking like a prequel from what I understand, and it's more combat focused. The other one was kind of like AA indie style, third person walking around figuring out puzzles, protecting your little brother. And that was the cool aspect of it. It had a cool aspect of, hey, I have this little child I have to protect, and I'm like, the 16-year-old girl that has to protect him and kind of stealth my way and kind of get rid of the knights and stuff like that, and the rats. It was all about survival. This just seems like a single player, like you said, whammon focused. The combat looks really cool. They've really stepped up their game with Asobo here, the studio. I just don't know if it's going to have that same magic like the other two, I think, have.
I don't know. I have no experience with the franchise. This game didn't really even leave an impression on me.
I actually forgot to put it in, actually.
I forgot that it was a thing until you mentioned it just now.
Yeah. If it's a prequel, I think it's probably their main character. I think is their mom or something. So whatever. Anyway, speaking of stuff that you have no experience and I sure have no weight in, Persona 4 Revival, a remake of Persona 4, releasing February 18th, 2027 for Game Pass and PS5. I'm going to keep going because I'm sure fans love it, but I don't have anything to say about it.
Well, I will say that, and then there was the Persona 6 reveal, and then
which we'll get to.
Another Japanese game that I saw. It was kind of cool that Xbox made like a conscious effort to include some very overtly Japanese games in this game showcase.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know exactly how well it'll pan out for them business-wise, but it's cool that they're making the effort.
Well, I think it's cool because Phil did a really good job, especially last year, rebuilding the relationship with Sega, which is why we're getting the showing of Persona and the other stuff as well, including Crazy Taxi. And this is just another proof that Microsoft is investing in Japan and specifically in Sega, and now we're starting to see some fruit from that, which is super cool, I think.
Yeah, one thing too is like the relationship between Xbox and Japanese games has always been kind of a distant one. Like they tried to make it happen, like with Blue Dragon, like Akira Toriyama, like actually designing a big budget JRPG for the Xbox 360.
You also had Lost Odyssey, which was the original creator of Final Fantasy made.
Oh yeah, that's right. Lost Odyssey. Forgot about that.
Eternal Sonata we have in the living room right now. Like they were really investing a lot.
They tried. And unfortunately, nothing really came of it. But it's cool that they're still trying because I do want to see like Japanese style games reach a broader audience over here in America.
Yeah.
Because they're weird, but they're also cool.
But they're also super successful because I think Japanese devs specifically have kind of had banger after banger after banger and have been the most been releasing the most notable games throughout this whole generation so far. I mean, just look at Capcom. Holy crap. We used to call them crap, and now they're not, or Crapcom, but now they're amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Japanese developers in general, yes, have released definitely games that have been reached a wide audience, but I'm talking about like the more niche ones, like JRPGs, especially. Like aside from Final Fantasy, you don't really have like JRPGs are still very kind of a niche thing over here.
Oh yeah.
And I would love to see that kind of change because I have a soft spot in my heart for JRPGs.
The children yearn for Persona, David. All right, next one. The one that the children certainly aren't yearning for, which is State of Decay 3. This game has been in development for God knows how long. I remember Frankie was a huge fan of State of Decay 2. And I know it has its fan base, but man, they have been dragging their feet. God, State of Decay 2 came out in 2018. That's almost 10 years ago by the time this is going to release. Like, what are you guys doing? Apparently, what's it called? The guys who are doing Gears. The Collective or whatever. I can't remember. The Coalition. The Coalition apparently has been helping a lot of the Xbox devs with UE5 development, which a lot of devs are still trying to, are still finally getting a handle on. And apparently they've been co-developing this title with Undead Labs. And I guess it's just been taking forever.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's the one thing too, is even though UE5 seems to be a big problem for as far as modern gaming goes, like I'm so glad that the people working on Gears, they're actually the ones who made the engine.
Yeah, they're a bunch of old Epic guys still.
Yeah,
They're
so it's
still
like,
there.
yeah, so it's like at the very least, I at the very least you can be reasonably assured that the new Gears game is not going to be prone to the same issues that a lot of UE5 games are, or at least they're going to be way more minimized because
They know what they're doing.
yeah, they know what they're doing, because that's the problem is developers used to have their own bespoke game engines that they worked on through whole franchises, and they got to know these engines inside and out, and that's why they were able to do such great work with them, especially given the limitations they had on older consoles. Um, and so even though UE5 is everywhere, the fact that Gears comes from a studio who have been working on the Unreal Engine for decades now is like, we get to have some of that old magic back.
Yeah, and I'm even though I'm not excited for Gears, I can definitely tell it's going to be of quality, like Coalition, and they prove themselves time and time again. They're the exact opposite of Halo Studios. They just prove themselves time and time again that they're super confident, make good titles that people want. I mean, I remember when the Hive Busters for Gears 5 came out, people were like just going like, "Oh my god, this is like the best thing the Gears has ever happened to it, and I love it." And so good for them. But State of Decay 3, sure, have fun. Not for me, but yeah. Game Pass and PS5, by the way.
Yeah, a lot of the games too in this show were like not my cup of tea specifically, but like none of them were absolute stinkers.
Yeah.
They all, for the most part, look like they're going to be pretty solid, or at least they won't suck.
Hopefully, we shall see with time. This is cool. Number 7 was Sea of Thieves Season 20, Game Pass and PS5, with a custom seas update. Making basically Forge mode in Sea of Thieves, which is super cool. I know you can do your own private servers now and host them in Xbox and stuff like that, or host them yourself from what I understand, like locally. But now you can do Forge, which is cool. Custom game modes you can make, cinematic stuff. That looks cool. Not for me, but yeah, it's cool. Did you have anything to say about it, David?
Not really. I mean, I've never played Sea of Thieves at all. I didn't even know it was a rare title until relatively recently.
Yeah, I think for me, my only experience was Chelsea made me play it once because I had Game Pass and we played it together. And after like 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I get it. And I think I've experienced the whole thing of Sea of Thieves. I think that's about it. Beautiful water. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, with sea in the title, they better get their water right.
Oh, next one we got is Metro 2039, the fourth entry in the Metro franchise.
That looks sick, man.
It does. All platforms, releasing on all platforms, minus Switch 2, releasing in sometime in 2027. Next one, David, do you remember this? Bad Magpie.
No.
The one with the raven where you're screwing things up.
So when I watched it, like, the act man was like 5 seconds into the trailer was like, "Ooh, it's this game," and I'm like, "What game?" And then when it finally said the title, I was like, "I've never heard of this before."
I've never heard of it either. It reminded me of that game. I don't know if you ever saw this game, but Untitled Goose Game.
I've heard of it, never played it.
It looks like that, but you're a raven, and it somewhat looks like it has a story as well. The art style is cool. I love the little, like, the kind of filters and the kind of texture they're putting on everything.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a cool game. It was just weird, like, it's like, oh, this game.
Yeah, what game? Yeah, I think this is just original title, but okay, well, if Ackman must know something.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before, but like I said, everything looks at the very least decent, and this looks interesting.
Yeah.
I may never play it, but I'm sure as long as its development and marketing goes right, I'm sure it will find its audience.
Releasing on Game Pass in 2027, but no PlayStation. This was one of the very few PlayStation absences in this whole title, in this whole show. All right, next one we got Wolong 2. This is one you brought up. Wolong 2, Wings of Ember, Game Pass, PS5, and Switch 2, early 2027. I've never heard. I think I barely know what this is, but it looks cool.
I've never heard of it before, but like the trailer looks cool.
Here's a game that I know you'll definitely play, David. Join Us, releasing on Game Pass and PS5, March 2027.
Yeah, I don't know.
The one where you play a cult and you have to fight other cults and the feds.
I don't know if I'll play that
come
one,
on, David.
but it does look cool.
Dude, when this popped up, like I think David would play this.
Like, I mean, I might pick it up eventually. I'm not like waiting with bated breath for it, but I will admit it looks cool. It looks pretty cool.
It's so funny and stupid and just like a good time, I'd say. I won't play it, but I thought the concept is so hilarious. You're a cult with your buddies and you have to fight other cults and the cops. This is so amazing. Like it's like co-op third person Far Cry 5 setting.
Yeah.
But it's like a survival game or something.
Yeah, I probably won't pick it up, but I mean the fact that they're announcing cool games like this is a good sign.
Yeah. It's a very quirky title, but well, very welcome. Very welcome to the arms of us. Let's see. Number 12, Senua. For Game Pass and PS5, 2027 release window. The third entry into the Senua or Hellblade franchise. I heard the second one was horrible. That's why I haven't played it. I actually just picked it up because it's on sale, so I'm going to probably dive into that at some point.
I've never played any of the Hellblade games.
The first one's, I loved the first one. Super interesting, so creepy and cool. The sound design where the mental, like she has voices speaking in her head, and that's kind of like the thing about those games is like you have all these voices in her head because she's crazy, and you can, and they're all, it's like 3D audio, so you hear it from the right side of your ear, the right ear, the left ear, behind you, forward. Super interesting experience, and you're going through like Helheim as you're doing this.
Oh, okay.
So the first one was dope. I loved it. I was super hyped for the second one, but I heard it was like 3.5 hours long, and I'm like, what the hell? You guys made this game for like 6 years. Why is it 3.5 hours long? So anyway, I'll play it, but I heard terrible things about it.
I just thought it was funny. I have no experience with the franchise at all, other than knowing it exists. But I thought it was pretty funny. Like 15 seconds into the trailer, Ackman was like, "Oh, it looks like a new Hellblade game," and then like when it, at the end of the trailer, when it's Senua, he's like, why didn't they just call it Hellblade 3?
Yeah, why? Like, this should have been the sequel from what I understand. Because also a big complaint from the last one that I saw was, oh, there's barely any combat. And now this whole new trailer for this next game is all combat. So it's like, cool. Well, hey, like, yes, give me more of that. That's what I wanted from the first one. And hopefully a good story. We'll see. But anyway, moving on. Fallout 76 expansion. I'm going to skip this one.
Bleh.
But speaking of expansions, David, I'm excited. Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations.
Oh, that looks so sick.
Dude, it's so dope. Oh, man. You got the chainsaw spear now, and you eventually get your shield back so you can swap back and forth. Your hell is frozen over. You're in Iceland or whatever.
Dude.
You're trying to claw back to reality or the living world or something.
I'm so glad I went for the premium upgrade.
Me too. I'm excited. And it's July 7th. Also releasing, of course, on Game Pass and PS5. This was surprising. Crazy Taxi World Tour.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they were revitalizing it, but I wasn't expecting to see a trailer here. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they had the song.
I have no experience with the Crazy Taxi franchise, but like the fact that they're bringing it back.
Good for Sega. Good for Sega. And the fact that they were able to get an Xbox One, that was pretty, or the Xbox showcase, that was cool. 2027, we'll see. I think a lot of this 2027 stuff will get pushed, but we'll see. The next one they had was the Xbox 25th anniversary console reveal. It looks dope, but again, it's going to be super expensive.
Yeah, it's going to be like $900, possibly more.
Yeah, it's got a terabyte of storage from what I saw, and they didn't announce a price yet. Apparently, everybody at the showcase down in LA where they were watching this gets a free one. So props to all you influencers that get all the free consoles, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one's another expansion, Age of Empires 4, Raiders of the North. I'm just going to skip this one. Same thing with Minecraft Dungeons 2. I played with Josh and Sam, my nephews, with the first one. It's a cool co-op MOBA, but there wasn't much to the first one. This one looks like they're expanding upon it, but that's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, I've never played it myself, so.
Minecraft MOBA. All right, here's the next one that was really interesting. These next two titles, actually. Magicians, The Devil's Deal, releasing in 2027 on Game Pass and PS5. This game looks cool.
Yeah.
Like first-person magic, like actual magic tricks, and you're fighting.
Like demons or whatever
Yeah,
they
you're
are.
fighting demons and zombies or something, and the devil's got a deal or something he's trying to like make you cash in on. It looks cool, and I was worried because I'm like, okay, this is just a CGI. Excuse me. Okay, this is just a CGI trailer. We're just gonna get this is just a concept, right? And then they cut to gameplay. And I'm like, oh shoot, we're actually getting gameplay. Okay, this is further along than I thought. And then it said 2027, and this looks cool. Like you got your magic wand, like an actual magician's wand, not Harry Potter wand. And you got cards. You can use your cards to attack people. You're fighting demons. I mean, any first-person demon killing I'm a fan of, personally. So this looks really neat. I've never heard of the dev before or the publisher, but I'd be down. Another one I'd be kind of down for, which is releasing imminently at the end of the summer, is Valor Mortis on Game Pass and PS5, September 24th. First-person sword and shooter, and you play as Napoleon.
Yeah.
Like a supernatural, like Napoleon in a supernatural world.
Yeah, I don't know what the angle on this game is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. It very much reminded me of Dishonored.
Yeah.
So
yeah, dude, when when it was happening, I'm like what you said, you're like, is this Dishonored? That's what I thought too. Like the first clip or the first few seconds, I'm like, oh my God, is this Dishonored? They didn't say Bethesda, but is this Dishonored? Nope, not. But this does look cool and it's original, and September 24th. Holy crap, that's soon. Yeah, I hope it's good. I'm gonna skip the Elder Scrolls Online expansion. That was probably the crappiest showing of a game I've seen in this showcase.
Yeah, when I said no stinkers, I actually forgot about that part.
That was so dumb.
Yeah, Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online is like, why even bother?
Yeah.
Who cares about either of those games?
They have their audience, I guess. Next one was kind of cool, David. Flight Simulator 2024 National Parks update.
Yeah.
I was feeling patriotic, David.
I'm not big on flight simulator games, but it looks really good.
Yeah, same thing here, but I tell you what, this game, every time I've seen it, it just looks better and better and better. They had a Top Gun partnership, which made me really excited a years ago or last year or something like that. And now they went ahead and detailed all the national parks in America, which makes me just with excruciating detail and geographic mapping. Oh, this looks happy birthday, America. Happy birthday.
The Microsoft Flight Simulator is one of those things that's just so weird to me that it still exists and is still a thing, because it's like a relic of the past from before Xbox. So it's like Microsoft's gaming thing. It's not Xbox's gaming franchise. It's Microsoft's gaming franchise. And it still exists and is a thing in the era of Xbox. So weird to me.
Very strange. But this looks pretty neat.
It does look sick.
America. Speaking of the exact opposite, this was some random MMO that came out. It's a free-to-play game. It's on Steam. Where Winds Meet. It's now officially on Xbox. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but Actman was excited that it was coming to Xbox. So,
yeah, he played some of that, MMO slop on Steam.
At the very least, it looks, if you're into that sort of thing, it looks like it could be pretty good.
Yeah. The next one is kind of going back to our conversation we had about smaller devs getting cool IP and doing something with it, and that is Castlevania Belmont's Curse.
Ooh, yeah.
Game Pass, PS5, releasing October 15th from the Dead Cell developers. This looks cool. I'm not a Castlevania guy, but this looks really cool.
I mean, this basically kind of looks like a sequel to Symphony of the Night, even though it's probably not in any meaningful sense, but just the art style and the gameplay mechanics that were presented, it very much looks like a follow-up to Symphony of the Night. So it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, I've put, I don't know, a couple hours or so into Dead Cells on the Switch and Steam, and I played a little bit of the Castlevania level that they updated it with, and I feel like it's the most polished level they've ever done in that game compared to everything else they did. And I haven't played a whole ton of it, but even just climbing up higher and higher into the tower as the Dead Cell guy, and you have the weapons from Castlevania, like the whip and some other stuff, and you're fighting the enemies. It was pretty cool. And the fact that they got Konami to do the license with them is super neat. And I'm really proud of those guys. Even though they kind of have this like socialistic studio format, kind of like what's them called? Kind of like those the guys that made Disco Elysium, which are now defunct. But there's like 22 developers, but they all have a equal stake into the company.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's been working for them, so sure. But
yeah,
they make some cool. Dead Cells is good. Like that's a good ass game.
Speaking of Castlevania, that's what I'd like to see is like imagine like Castlevania, but like a Devil May Cry style game.
You mean Lords of the?
Well, they've tried to do
Lords of Shadow.
They've tried to do like 3D
God of War like
action, 3D action Castlevanias, and none of them have been very good, from what I understand. But like just doing something like that with a franchise, but where it's actually good, like where it actually nails that, like where it's less, where it like nails that sweet spot between combat and puzzles and exploration. But in the Castlevania universe, like that would be cool. They haven't done it yet, but I feel like at some point they need to nail that style of game.
Yeah. This looks cool. The next one also looks really cool, and that is the game Vivarium, the old 80s / like old anime style.
Oh yeah,
point-and-click adventure.
It looks like Studio Ghibli, basically.
Yeah, well, even older than that. It looks like the old Lupin movies and even Astro Boy, I would say.
Yeah.
It looks like a point-and-click adventure game from Studio Meadowflower, Serenity Forge, and published by Crunchyroll, I believe. So this looks cool. No PlayStation, by the way, but will be on Game Pass sometime in 2027.
Yeah, that was another one of those Japanese style games where it's like, it's really cool that Xbox is still trying to make that connection between Xbox and the Japanese market happen.
Yeah, it was a really, at first I'm like, okay, whatever, but then I started noticing the old style and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And like the whole thing about you're in this terrarium, and then the end of the trailer zooms out and you're in this house and you're just like, will you go beyond it or whatever? I'm like, that's a cool concept. Like the Borrowers and stuff like that, like Secret World Arietti style.
That's cool. It's really cool how it seems like they've leveraged the power of modern consoles to where even the gameplay itself like looks like an old like 80s anime.
Yeah.
Like
the kind of the film, kind of filters they have over it, and kind of the splotches you see in like an old film reel almost.
Yeah, because it used to be like you'd have games that would have sort of an anime-esque sort of style to them, but they were clearly, video game rendered stuff, and then they'd maybe have like anime-esque cutscenes or backdrops or whatever. But this, it looks like everything has that, just like it looks like an old Japanese cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Last couple here, we got Persona 6, no release date, but will be on Game Pass and PS5. I'm surprised it's going to be on Game Pass. It's really interesting. This is like the next mainline Persona. I was kind of bummed out just for the fans because
There's no
there's
details.
no details about it. It's just literally a logo reveal.
Yeah, it's
And I'm
like
like,
a
they've been waiting for this forever.
1-minute trailer.
Yeah,
And it's like you could have given
something.
some. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think this game is, I think that logo already leaked on like 4chan or something.
Oh, did it?
And the concept of it is already out there. Like it's dual protagonist. And I just was bummed out because I'm like, not for me, but for the fans. Persona 5 was like 2016. And then the what's it called? The golden version was in 2020. So this has been going for a long time. But they did have to do Metaphor Refantasio, which was that JRPG from like 2 years ago. So that was their main game, but this has been cooking in the background for some time now. And the Persona fans they're starving out there, David, in the cold.
Yeah, Persona is one of those series where it's like, it's very bewildering. I
Mhm.
wouldn't even know what games like to start with, because
Yeah.
it's like some of them seem very almost like, what is it, Danganronpa or whatever
Yep,
that game's
Danganronpa.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like very, very similar to that, and that game just turns me off completely. And then some of them are weird, like clunky dungeon crawler games. It's
Yeah.
very strange.
Very strange. I've heard great things about the franchise, and my buddy really tried to get me to play 4. He's like, you just play Persona 4 Golden. It's on Steam, man. And I'm like, I mean,
Well, I mean, now you have the opportunity. The remaster's coming out, man.
I mean, or I can just play it on my Steam account.
Yeah, I probably won't
So
really look into it either.
Yeah.
So
I think it's cool that from what I know, each game has a certain color. So number 4 was golden. So, gold, the color gold. And then the 5th one was red, from what I understand. And this is green.
Interesting.
And I think like the 3rd one was like blue or something.
And like
that.
the color
The color has to go
like-
with the theme.
like dictates the whole art style of the game, kind of a thing.
It dictates not the art style, but the main theme of the game. So I think in Persona 3, it has a lot to do with suicide. So that's why it's blue, I believe. And then gold has something to do with like mental disability, like something mental or something like that. Each color kind of correlates to what the story's focusing on.
Weird.
I know it's weird. It's Japanese, but cool. All right, Spyro, A Realm Beyond. Toys for Bob's new game, 2027. Spring. Hopefully, fingers crossed, 2027.
Yeah.
This looks cool, man. Dude, him flying at the end of the clip. Oh, man. I'm like, dude, open world Spyro, maybe? Who knows?
I mean,
This is cool.
That could be kind of cool. Like, honestly, just the fact that this exists at all blows my mind.
Yeah. Like, Toys for Bob they helped with the Insane Trilogy as well as they did the Spyro Remaster, and they also helped out with Crash Team Racing and the 4th Crash Bandicoot game. So, man, keep going, man. I like Crash a lot. I love those games, so keep them coming and keep the Spyro stuff coming, too. Game Pass, PS5, and Switch 2, which this has to be on Switch 2. Come on. Last couple, we have Clockwork Revolution, Xbox console exclusive. My notes I wrote down are as super British. God, what a British, man, there's so much British, and it's the most British I've ever seen. So many bundle of sticks as well, David.
Yeah, there was a lot of imagery in the trailer for Clockwork Revolution where it's like, I don't really know what kind of game this is going to be.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
No matter what, it's going to be interesting.
Like the fact that the guys who did those Wasteland games are doing them makes me very interested because I only hear like the best RPG you've never played is Wasteland 3 or whatever.
Interesting.
And now they're doing a first person RPG that kind of looks like BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
So,
very strange.
Looks very interesting indeed.
And it's cool. It's going to be an exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're back, baby.
Oh man. Oh god.
We're so back.
Oh god. Oh yeah, we're so back. Our logo got changed. Yay. Speaking of we're so back, enthusiastically, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4.
Bleh.
Why did you end with this? When they ended with that, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Why? They did this last year and it was the worst Call of Duty out there.
Did they end with it?
Last year they did. They ended it with like, we got one more thing. They literally said, we got one more thing. And then it cuts to black and then they play the trailer for Black Ops 7.
Oh.
And I'm like, why did you do that? And they did the same thing for this, except, hey, Call of Duty's been such a wonder. It's like, oh, Just get away from me. Leave me alone. Everybody's gonna buy it. You
Didn't
don't
they-
have to advertise it.
Didn't they end with the Gears thing?
No. That was the opening. That was the opening of the show. Oh, the ending, the last portion of the show was like a whole half an hour deep dive of Gears Day.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
talking
correct.
about.
I didn't watch that. I just
I watched it.
Was it? How would it go?
It looked cool as hell.
I'm sure it does.
Like, honestly, yeah, I was watching that the deep dive made me more excited for it than just the little bits on the trailer.
I'm happy for you.
I
I mean, I don't have anything against it. I'm just like, I'll watch it later.
was like, that's the thing is like, I'm not like a Gears fanboy either.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I just watched it because it was like, you know, it was part of the whole thing with the Ack Man reacting to it. So I just watched it as part of the whole thing, and yeah, it looked cool as hell.
Cool as hell.
Way cooler than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4.
I do think it's kind of cool. It's set in Korea. I think that's kind of cool. But that's
also, it's like that's the other
only thing.
location could they choose?
Yeah, give me a civil war in China and let's see that sell in China. Let's
Oh
go.
boy,
Oh man,
something that doesn't involve like the nuclear missiles. Something that doesn't involve that. Also, you know that they were really trying to hit that nostalgia thing with changing the logo format from Roman numerals to Arabic numerals for 4 specifically.
Oh,
because that evokes Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. But
Yeah,
then when
Modern
they do
Warfare.
the rebooted Modern Warfare series, all the sequels, 2 and 3, they were all Roman numerals. But this one, 4,
It's
they
just
go
the
back
number.
to Arabic numerals.
Interesting. Yeah.
So you know they're trying to they're like, yeah, this is gonna hit the OG Modern Warfare fans, you know, in the nostalgia spot.
I'm gonna look up real quick whose turn is it to make this Call of Duty? So Modern Warfare, because
Do they not have like one development team anymore?
No, they have 3. You got Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer. But I think Treyarch went twice because this one, Modern Warfare 4, got delayed. But let me double check who's making it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, because I think also they all kind of work on all of them together at times. Let's see, Modern Warfare dev. Who is it? Come on. It's Infinity Ward. Okay. Well, their last one was Modern Warfare 3, like the new Modern Warfare 3. And that was like panned by critics and people hated that game.
Was it?
Yeah. They had that, Black Ops 7, or Black Ops 6, and then 7. Then they have this one. So
Yeah, this one doesn't look good.
yeah. I mean, I think all the studios are working on it, but I think this Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer, yeah, it's all of the Call of Duty sweatshop is working on it. So
I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't like look necessarily bad or anything. It just looks like more of the same.
yeah.
But with they slapped a coat of Korean paint on it.
I also thought, because I was skipping through the trailer at the end, I'm like, why the hell are you just showing a whole match of this DMZ mode? I know you're trying to sell it. I know you're trying to say, oh, extraction shooters are really popular, and so here you go. It's like, I get it. But this DMZ mode was in Warzone 0.1 version back in the day. So, like, it's always been around. So, come on, guys.
Yeah, they're really trying to like revitalize interest in it. But I think extraction shooters, aside from Arc Raiders, are just not people are not really excited for them. Speaking of,
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but I get what you're saying.
like, I think a lot of people are they've
only been around for not that long.
Yeah, but it's like all of them that are out have a very kind of samey sort of vibe to them, I think, is what drives the fatigue. Not necessarily that they've been a thing for a long, long time, but that just a lot of them seem to have kind of a samey sort of like a lot of them are very like
the formula?
Like, yeah, the whole like Escape from Tarkov thing. Like a lot of them seem to have that sort of vibe to them. at least from what I can tell. I'm not
Yeah,
a extraction shooter
at
player.
least like PUBG and Fortnite are differentiated. I don't know how to say that.
Differentiated.
Thank you, David. At least those look different when the battle royale genre was like exploding.
Yeah.
But you get Arc Raiders and then another game. I don't know. Marathon and Arc Raiders look very different.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Arc Raiders looks very different, but Arc Raiders is pretty well loved. And Marathon looks different, but Marathon is not very well loved for reasons other than it being an extraction shooter.
I think it's a little overhated personally, just from what I'm seeing, but
Um,
we'll leave that for another time.
but speaking of extraction shooters, or not extraction shooters, I should say, is I was watching the PC Gamer magazine showcase. It was
God bless your heart.
It was horrible and cringy. I was just like, I was in the mood to see what new game trailers. I almost turned it off though because of the stupid inter-trailer cringe thing that comedy bits they were doing.
It was so terrible.
It was awful.
Every year.
But I somehow managed to make it through the whole thing.
Wow.
And there was one game on there that was like, it's called War Dogs. That looks really sick.
War Dogs.
Because it's like a tactical, like military style shooter, but it's not like an extraction shooter or anything like that. It's this like massive online multiplayer shooter where you have up to 100 players divided into like 3 or 4 teams, trying to control a central zone on the map. And there's this like persistent sort of in-game economy where you earn cash for your weapon loadouts.
Kind of like CS:GO or something.
Based on like doing things that are like team play related. So you not only do you get cash for getting kills.
The trailer says not a battle royale. That's awesome.
Yeah, so you get not
an extraction shooter.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was like. He gets it. When the guy in the trailer said that, the dev guy in the trailer said, "Yeah, this is not going to be another battle royale. It's not going to be another extraction shooter." I was like, "Man, somebody gets it." But yeah, you like not only do you earn cash for getting kills, but you earn cash for doing things like spotting enemies and reviving down teammates and stuff.
Wow.
It looks like it could be pretty interesting. Because that's the thing is, I actually really love the idea of like modern military tactical shooters like Battlefield, Call of Duty, that kind of stuff. I really love that idea of that style of game, but most of them that are out now are pretty samey and pretty not great, which saddens my heart. But this seems like it could be interesting, so I'm excited for it. And kind of the reason why I wanted to tie it in with the whole Xbox console thing is I was like, man, like the new Xbox console is going to be basically a PC stuffed into a fancy looking case anyway, right?
Basically.
Why not crossover? Why not lean into that crossover a little bit and bring on games like this that wouldn't normally get a console release?
This is very Xbox coded as well. You would see something like this in like the 360 era or something like that, for sure.
Yeah, but like the 360 wouldn't have been able to have like a game of that scale.
Yeah, no.
But now that you have your console is basically a PC, like go for that kind of thing.
I'm watching the gameplay on this on Steam. They're doing the live stream with the devs, and it actually looks like a lot of fun. And the fact that it's not just your squad of 4 doing a battle royale game, it seems much more. It's kind of like Arma, a little bit, but it seems like much more easier to grasp, basically, with vehicles and stuff like that. And it's not Call of Duty. It's not like quick kills. It's just tactical, all-out warfare, as it says. So, yeah, 3 teams in a 100-player lobby, and you're just going for it. That's pretty cool. And you control the zones and kill people. And I like the idea of getting little experience and cash from the little things you do. I think that's a really cool way. Like, you get quick rewards for whatever. Like you get kind of like an Overwatch, like you get experience from little things you do in the team, and they kind of carry that over here, which is really neat. So, 3-team tactical warfare. The developers are Bulkhead, published by Team 17. Okay, Team 17 does a bunch of different things. So Bulkhead, this is their. Oh, they did the Turing test. It was like a first-person puzzle game. That's interesting. Anyway, okay, War Dogs. Check it out. Well, now that you bring up other stuff, let's get into some other games I found quite interesting as well, David. Star Trek Shadow Frontier. It's a horror game, third-person horror game in the Star Trek universe, made by Blooper Team.
Oh, you know what? I thought you were talking about something different. I just saw Star Trek in the link, and I thought you were talking about like it's like Star Trek Outposts or something.
No,
it's like this new like.
Oh, I saw that too.
It's like looks like it's a Civilization style game or something.
Yeah, which could be cool, but this is like the guys who remade Silent Hill 2 and that new game Chronos: A New Dawn, which is basically Dead Space, are doing a Star Trek game in that style.
Star Trek survival horror.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right? This is under the new, just unveiled publisher Paramount Games, which I guess is being head up by Amy Hennig, of all things, who wrote the Uncharted trilogy. Yeah, so anyway, she's part of that. They're publishing this game, which is going to be coming out at some point in the future, as well as the TMNT Last Ronin game with Platinum Games. So this is those Ellisons that bought Paramount. I hope you guys do some justice, and you guys got some interesting IP you're dealing with. So that looks cool. Survival horror and Star Trek. I mean, what? Okay, I'll take some. All right, next one. These are just some stuff I found kind of interesting here. Valheim's getting its 1.0 release on September 9th, and it's also getting its console releases. So this was, I think, previously early access on Xbox. Now it's coming to PS5, Switch 2, and Mac, David. It's been on Mac for a while, actually. September 9th for that guy. Thief.
I've never played Valheim, but
it's kind of cool.
I've heard that it's cool, so.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's kind of cool.
I might check it out.
I liked my time with it. Thief Remaster, we already mentioned this, but that's coming out, and it's coming for the Switch 1 and 2, which is really interesting.
Heck yeah.
So Night Dive and Eidos Montreal are partnering up doing that, so that's kind of cool. They say winter is the time frame, winter 2026. The next game I got here, David, is that Carcass Clad, that from the creators of Mouthwashing Tank game.
Yeah.
Looks weird.
I don't know what to think about this, but I mean...
It's a co-op tank game where you have animal carcasses on your tank as you battle through a desolate city. That's basically what it looks like.
To me, it almost looked like it was kind of like a very hardcore kind of like, almost like tank simulator kind of game.
Yeah.
With
weird, like a low poly style.
With weird like horror elements.
Yeah.
So it could be cool, honestly. I have no context for the whole like from the creators of Mouthwashing. Like I have zero context for that because I've never played that game, never even seen footage of that game. So it's like some of the imagery in this trailer was kind of bewildering. So I wonder if maybe knowing what mouthwashing is like helps bring context to that or something.
All that would bring context to is that it's an effed up kind of experience that's just bizarre.
Oh, okay.
That's all that really brings to it. And I played Mouthwashing because I heard good things about it. It's about an hour and a half. It's about 90 minutes or 2 hours long. It's about 2 hours long. I played it. I heard good things. I vehemently hated my time with it. It was my first purchase I regret in quite a while. I hated that game. There's many issues I had with it. But honestly, this game does look cool. And I mean, if it can actually do where Mouthwashing failed in terms of dedicating to the theme, I think, in my opinion, I think this does look cool. Also, if they could put a like AI or your people, instead of playing, I hope they do a single player mode where you can just have AI companions doing the other positions and maybe you can swap in between them. That'd be kind of cool. But sure, why not? I think this is an interesting choice after they did Mouthwashing. All right, speaking of low poly, this is a sequel to a game that I recently purchased called El Paso Elsewhere. And this is El Paso Elsewhere 2. Basically, imagine Max Payne, but on the PS1. And it has a similar theme to Max Payne where it's this like lonely, desolate man who's at the end of his rope and he's got to dive slow motion and shoot pistols at people. This is an indie game and it looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for it. It looks interesting.
Yeah. Releases TBA for that one as well as the Carcass game. But something that will become a lot sooner, Rayman Legends Retold. This was shown at the Sony State of Play.
Oh, yeah.
I have minimal experience with Rayman in general, but this looks impressive, but I feel like it's kind of, you're remaking it into 3D out of a 2D game. And I think the 2D almost looks better, but this doesn't look bad at all. This does look good.
So this isn't just a remaster of Rayman
This is
Legends.
like a full remake of Rayman Legends.
So they're basically remaking the game, but as like a 3D platformer.
2.5D is what it looks like.
Oh, no,
So like you'll have side-scrolling segments. That's the main like theme of the game. But you'll also have segments where it's like the special levels where you're flying forward or trying to maneuver, kind of like Star Fox, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's also really cool levels that are music-based where you have to hit certain points onto the beat. And this game's renowned for its like soundtrack as well. And it looks like that's being remastered, including.
Yeah. I have almost no experience with the Rayman games other than the very first one.
Interesting.
I played through the very first one. Well, played through is a lot. Is saying a lot. I didn't complete it because that game is super difficult.
Yeah.
So
I played a little bit of that as well.
I never managed to finish it, but I really enjoyed it. And then same with Gears of War. I just like was just done with the franchise after that. So I've never played Rayman Legends. I don't even think I've ever even seen gameplay of it.
Rayman Legends Retold will be releasing October 1st this year. So there you go. We already mentioned this, but TMNT Last Ronin, being developed by Platinum Games, who did Bayonetta, Nier Automata, and Ninja Gaiden 4, published by this new initiative, Paramount Games. Releases TBA. We just know it's in development. All right, this game, David. I don't know if you saw it, but this was also at the Sony State of Play, called Ill.
Yeah.
It's like this realistic first-person action survival horror game.
That game looks super weird.
Super messed up, bro. Dude.
Like the violence on that when you like blowing chunks off the zombies' faces.
Oh my god.
Like
dude.
It's
so creepy and dreading and gross. And dude, the like a zombie baby, and then you had a giant person chasing you like through a hall, and then a giant head that's coming at you trying to eat you, and it looks so gross and messed up, but super interesting.
Yeah, I probably won't play it because generally
same here.
Those aren't my style of games, but more power to them.
Yeah. It looks so, like the animations. Looks so gross and cool. That's 2027 release window. All right, last ones I got for you, David. This is the last games. I titled this games that Jake will play on PS6. Wolverine and the new God of War title.
Oh yeah,
did you see anything from any of these?
I watched both the gameplay demos for both of them.
What do you think of Wolverine?
Wolverine looks sick.
Oh man, Wolverine
looks sick as hell.
So cool.
God of War does not look sick as hell to me, but I'm sure the hardcore fans will enjoy it. Yeah. I'm not a hardcore fan of God of War. I played like the first one, and I think I played a little bit of the second one, and I've seen no, that's wrong. I played a little bit of Dad of War.
Oh, the 2018 God of War, yeah.
I played a little bit of that. Whichever the one where it's with
Boy
Boy and the Norse gods and all that. I played a little bit of that, but other than that, I'm not really like a God of War fanboy. So
this didn't give you anything, basically.
Yeah, this was more like kind of like a WTF moment for me. Is like, we didn't need this, but I'm sure given God of War's pedigree, that it will still be an enjoyable game for those who
Yeah.
are fans of the franchise. But for me, it was like, why are we doing this? But Wolverine,
Wolverine, dude.
Wolverine looks sick as hell.
Oh, dude, ripping people up with your claws, stabbing them in the head, the blood everywhere, and how it gets on you when you're playing as Wolverine. Man.
I really thought it was cool too, because it's like hyper violent,
Dude.
harkening back to like, the roots of the character.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't try to like modernize his outfit or anything.
Yeah.
They stuck with the classic Wolverine outfit.
Dude, and I love the voice of him. He sounds spot on, like how you'd figure Logan would sound like. The little clip at the end where you get a shot of Omega Red and then Sabretooth and Mystique as well. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically the voice was the best you can get aside from what's his face?
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Also, he's not 4'1" or whatever he's supposed to be height wise in this. He's a little taller, like Hugh Jackman as well. I think it's interesting. I read a thing about how the X-Men don't exist yet. This is just Logan, and this just involves not X-Force, but X-Unit or something, or like Task Force X or whatever, or X-Force. And this is just involving Jean, Logan, and a couple other mutants.
Okay, so I'm no like expert on Marvel lore, but I was under the impression that Wolverine got hooked up with Jean through the X-Men.
Yeah, so this is looking like it's a different interpretation of the original story of the comics, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's still going to involve X-Men. So because we had a leak from Insomniac Games a couple years ago where it showed basically a ton of things they're working on. And one of those things, like such as the Spider-Man games, we're getting Spider-Man 3, we're getting a Venom game, that kind of thing. But we're also getting an X-Men game. And this is going to be the intro to that. So in this story, it's supposed to be like Logan and a couple other mutants are trying to help find all the X-Men kids, basically, to eventually make X-Men. And then the next game after this, after Spider-Man 3 is my guess, we're going to get an X-Men game, which is supposed to be a trilogy, apparently. So Insomniac Games is just going to be making Marvel games for like the next 10 years, basically. Which, if this is what it's looking like, as well as what Spider-Man looks like, I'll be down.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. Speaking of Marvel games, I did see that during the State of Play, they showed that that Marvel fighting game that's coming out.
Tokon Fighters.
That looks pretty sick.
Yeah. And dude, Green Goblin, played by Steve Bloom.
Oh, dang.
Dude, it looks, I'm not a fighting game guy at all, but I've dabbled, and this looks like the fighting scene's gonna be eating good with this game.
Yeah, I'm not like a huge fighting game player myself, but I have a lot of hours. Not that I'm any good at it, but at the same time, I have a lot of hours put into Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So basically Marvel fighting games are kind of do hit me in the nostalgic feels. So this one I was pretty psyched to see. Yeah,
you could tell the love they're pouring into this game from kind of the old Marvel fighting games, I would say. Especially with like some of the character choices and new character choices, like Penny Parker's in there for some reason. You got Magic as well. You got some other characters, but yeah, Green Goblin. I thought that was and Carnage. I thought that was dope because Carnage, I think, is in I think that's in Marvel. He's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Carnage.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure I played as him, or was it Venom?
Hey, Venom's definitely in there. I don't think Carnage is in there.
Carnage not in there? I know Green Goblin's not.
He might be in number 3. I never actually played.
No, he's not in 3.
He's not in 3?
Yeah, I played that a bunch.
I had never played 3, so I don't know. I don't think he was in 2.
It's cool that he's in this, though.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. So.
I've always been a fan of Carnage as a character. Not so much from like a story perspective, but just more like the design and the motivations of the character. I've always thought were super cool. So, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who's making this because Arc System Works is doing it.
Yeah,
Who did all the Blaze Blue games and whatnot.
they did Guilty
Damn.
Gear, right?
Yeah, Guilty. That was it. Guilty Gear.
Um,
Dang.
yeah, I've never played Guilty Gear, but I guess it's a very highly regarded series, so you
Well,
know it's in good hands.
Did they also do Dragon Ball Z Fighters? I'm trying to see right now.
Maybe.
I don't see it here at the moment.
Was that the one for the PS2?
No. This was like last gen, like Xbox One era.
Okay.
I don't see it here. Maybe that's somebody else I'm thinking of.
Because there was a fighting game for the PS2 that I remember thinking looked really sick, but I never played it.
Mm.
And then it was like years later I saw a gameplay footage of it. It's like, oh, I forgot about this game. And it was sick.
The last thing I'll probably just touch on real quick is God of War. Like, I'm a huge fan of the new reboot games, which is where I entered into the franchise. And there's so many little things that aren't explained in those games that you're like who like there's one point in the first game, who blew the horn while Atreus and Kratos were over in this area? And all the other characters you meet say they didn't do it. So who did? And
Who done it?
Who done it? You know? And it's like the only person who witnessed it was the giant world serpent, and he can't speak English. So it's like, okay. And he won't say who it was. So it's like, who blew the horn? Who was over here at this time? It's kind of interesting because this character has like been built up in the lore throughout these two games, specifically because she was the only person Kratos like had a draw with, apparently. Like, they met by I think they met each other through a fight at first, and then they eventually fell in love or whatever. Apparently she gave Thor a run for his money. Like, there's a point in God of War Ragnarok where you're in this realm and there's this giant frozen lightning bolt in the middle of a desert. And apparently it was because her and Thor had a fight, and this is the same lightning bolt that Kratos and Thor created in the other realm. So there was a fight between the axe and the hammer, and it creates this like lightning bolt when it clashes. So it's like she's like this renowned, she's built up as this renowned fighter. And now you're seeing like the reveal of that lore here and the person. Also, I'm a little biased. I like seeing ladies in armor. I think it's kind of cool. Not gonna lie. It's something that I really personally think that's very hot. When it's a woman in armor, like Joan of Arc style. Also, I'm a little biased, David, because the character Lupe looks a little bit like my fiance. I'm not gonna lie. So I was like, I'm kind of biased in this situation. So anyway, other than that, I think it's gonna be cool. The fact that you're getting Egyptian and Chinese mythology, like the red dude with the arms, that's Chinese mythology. And then the chick Sekhmet she had like this Egyptian snake on her like belt. Like, it's cool how they're figuring out a way to introduce other mythologies by some afterlife of the gods, which is where we're at here. So that's kind of their way of like, oh, you guys wanted Egyptian? You wanted stuff? Here you go. So it's kind of like a cheating way, I think, but it's they could explore a lot through that. But other than that, that's all I really have to say. I'm excited for it, but again, I'll be playing these games on PS6 when it comes out. I don't want to get a PS5 right now. And other than that, that's all I got for you, David. Any last bits? Oh, I did write something about how packed the fall is, but we don't have to go over that. It's just the fact that everything's releasing before GTA 6 comes out is getting a little crazy. Like, there's about 2 to 3 to 4 notable games coming on just September 24th.
Yeah, it's really funny that like GTA 6 we know almost nothing about it. We don't know when it's going to like I think we still don't know when it's going to drop, right?
No, we do. It's November 15th, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they set a date.
Okay. It's just so funny to me that like I can never get into GTA. Like, I've played them a bunch. Mm-hmm. I played them a bunch beginning with San Andreas, but every time I play them, I'm like always just like, give me the cheat code so I can
mess around,
cause as much mayhem as possible. But when it comes time to doing the actual story, it always loses me.
Mm.
So it's just so weird to me that like this game is like such a big thing. We don't know very much about it. Other developers are trying to like coordinate their releases so that it doesn't compete with it. And like the interviewer chick in the Bloomberg interview with Asha Sharma was saying something like this is projected to be like the best selling like piece of entertainment media in history. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Which makes you think, which or at least makes me think of, why the hell Xbox did you stop manufacturing your console? GTA 6 is literally coming out the year afterward and people want to get it and they're going to buy a console to get it. Come on, man. But anyway, you were saying.
but yeah, that's the like this is projected to be like the best selling piece of entertainment media in history,
Mhm.
and we know almost nothing about it.
Pretty much. November 19th, by the way. It's November 19th. So I,
It's just so weird.
yeah, apparently from what I've been hearing from listening to different podcasts, it's the marketing people and strategies at the strategists at different companies and the gaming companies, devs and publishers, they're trying to give 1 month breathing room beforehand and then afterward, except for like Call of Duty, for example, which will be late October. Like you have Call of Duty 4 at October 23rd, but everything else before that, nothing super notable comes out after that. It's just GTA. And so you have August, which is packed. You have here, I'll just read this. So August 27th, just the 27th, you have Metal Gear Solid Remaster 2 Collection.
Which I'm excited for.
Yep. And then you have Star Wars Zero Company, which is like XCOM, but Star Wars. Then you have the Plague Tale game. Those are all coming on those three that day. Then the next week you have Blood of the Dawnwalker, which we didn't even talk about, but that's Witcher ex-Witcher devs making a new vampire game. So there's that, which is hyped up for a lot of people. September 8th you have, which is a couple days afterward, you have Halloween the game. The week after that you have Marvel's Wolverine. The week after that you have everything coming out. You have Control Resonant, you have the new Silent Hill game, you have that Valor Mortis game you and me talked about. You have a bunch of others. You have the day after that, you have the new Omnimusha game, which is like looking pretty good. And it's Capcom's next big game. Minecraft Dungeons 2, which we mentioned, which doesn't matter. That's September 29th. The Rayman Retold is October 1st, along with the remastered Dynasty Warriors game. October 6th, you have Galactic Racer, the Burnout devs' Star Wars pod racing game, as well as that same day, you have Gears of War E-Day. So like, and then you have a couple other stuff, but yeah, that's a lot of games in that just a month right there. And this happens every year with November, but now everybody's moving it beforehand because this is at the end of that fiscal quarter. So yeah, everybody's trying to get in before GTA 6 drops, because when it drops, David, we're going to hear nothing but GTA 6 stuff all this fall. It's going to get so tiring hearing about it.
Oh man, I already know that like people are going to be like taking off work to play this game, and like it's going to be nuts.
The fact that people have like waited to upgrade their PS4s until now to get GTA 6 kind of boggles my mind. Like I feel like there's still 20 million people on PS4 that every month sign in to PSN. So those people won't be able to play GTA 6 unless they get a PS5 or Xbox or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
that's the really crazy part of this is that it's looking like GTA 6 is going to drive console sales in the worst time possible to
the
buy
most expensive
consoles.
time to buy a console is going to be now, which I think, obviously, we've talked about this, but I think that's another reason why they did the price hike beforehand, because everybody knows that GTA 6 is coming out and it's going to dominate. I mean, I don't even think we're barely going to get any games releasing in December, which usually doesn't happen anyway. But last thing I'll say, David, everything we mentioned today, we don't even know what Nintendo's releasing this fall.
Yeah.
So there's that on top of everything. So you're going to get that Ocarina of Time remake. Star Fox, I think, is this summer. And then who knows what else they'll release this fall. I think Ocarina of Time remake is probably the only thing you could probably release next to GTA 6 besides Call of Duty, and for it to sell well, because
Yeah,
the
probably.
nostalgia's just gonna it's gonna eat everybody up.
Yeah, that's the thing is
That's gonna sell.
so many people still love Ocarina of Time,
That's
which
gonna
is
get them to buy a Switch too.
like I know when because I watch the Game Grumps YouTube channel from time to time. I used to be much more into their channel, but now just kind of background stuff. But back like
You still watch them every day, but just the classics.
yeah, it's just mostly background stuff. I used to be like invested in the channel. It's like, oh, what are they gonna play next? Ooh, what if they play this? What if they play that? Like I used to be like excited about like certain game that like I want to see them play the next part of this game because it's cool. Now it's just more like I'm just like turn them on for background noise. But back when I was more into the channel, they played through Ocarina of Time, and so I watched that whole series more intently back then, and I remember so many people in the comments section of those videos were so upset because the main OG dude in Game Grumps, Aaron or whatever, is like hardcore not a fan of most 3D Zeldas, specifically of Ocarina of
Oh,
Time.
oh,
And before he
interesting.
was in Game Grumps, he was an animator like YouTuber called, and his channel name was Ego Raptor.
Oh, he's Ego Raptor.
Yeah,
Oh, I
so
remember that guy. Yeah.
so on his Ego Raptor channel, he has a series called Sequelitis, and so he did a sequelitis.
Oh.
He did a sequelitis on Ocarina of Time, pointing out everything that he thought like had aged poorly in the game, and then when he actually played it on Game Grumps, he was like pissing and moaning and complaining the whole time about all those things. So that was, I remember it because I was much more invested in the channel, was specifically watching the videos, reading all the comments and stuff. So I remember very vividly all the legions of Ocarina fans that were just so upset that he was hating on their favorite game ever.
Mm.
So it's just like, yeah, the Ocarina of Time fan base is rabid.
Yeah, they are. And I've tried to get into it. I can. I've tried like 3 different times to start Ocarina of Time, but I'm like, either I got distracted or I'm like, this is like fine, but maybe I'll get to this later. Same thing with some other legendary titles, but I just look at that and I'm like, I get it. If you played it as a kid, you're fine with it, but 20 frames a second. I played tons. I played Banjo Kazooie. That game runs at like 19 frames a second, like 20 frames. Like it's not a good running game on the N64. But Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, I just watched my siblings play it, and I'm like, yeah. Again, this is further proof, David. I'm not a true millennial. I don't really want to play that game.
Well, I guess that means I'm not a true millennial either.
Well,
Because
well,
I definitely do not.
you're not a generic millennial. We'll say that.
I do not have a love for Ocarina of Time or for most 3D Zeldas.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but yeah, I think that'll come out this fall. I would not be surprised if it's literally the same day it drops, like late October, early November. I could see it happening there. But yeah, people are gonna clear out, let Rockstar take it, and they'll be dominant for the next couple months afterward. I think the pop culture is going to be interesting. You're getting GTA 6, Avengers Doomsday, and those are going to be like the two mammoths for the fall this of 2026. It's going to be interesting. So, the mainstream pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'll probably be playing BioShock Infinite at that time. So, finally catching up on some games I've been missing out on.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get back into that game. I played it a little bit back in the day, but I never completed it.
You want to do a peak analysis on the OG BioShock?
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, you have a way to play it?
I
I have
mean,
a 360 copy if you want to borrow that.
I mean, I'm sure I can get it somehow. I know it's on.
It might
I know
be on
the
sale on
the
Steam.
I know the remastered version is on is on the Mac App Store.
Oh, yeah, you
So-
could even play it on your Mac.
So yeah, I could. Yeah, I will have no problem playing that game. I'll find a way. But yeah, I'd be interested in doing that at some point.
He'll find a way. And we will find a way too. Out of here, because it's time to go.
Indeed.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking a gander at this episode of the Snarp Fangle podcast. Let us know down in the comments below what you think about everything we touched today and why you will be playing Minecraft Dungeons 2, as well as the Garfield cart. Or what's that Garfield? Let me look at that game real quick. What is that game called? Garfield. It's coming out the same day as Control, Resident, and Silent Hill. And Valis Motor. Garfield, Escape from Monday. I have no idea what it's about, but I won't be playing it. So anyway, take care. Look out for the booty. And Snarp Fangle on.
Bye-bye now.